Hi, friends! Welcome in on this happy Thursday.
You gotta stop shifting on me. It's weird.
Dude, I'm just trying to keep you on your toes.
I don't like it.
Well, I'm in a good mood today.
Fine.
Starting to be caffeinated.
Is this Guardians related? Is that why you're in a good mood?
No. Jakey was talking to me about that out in the old bullpen, and he was like, "Are you stoked? Because it's winner take all." And I was like, "Hell no, dude! I'm super nervous."
I'm a basket
days.
of cats.
I
I
hate
don't
these
like
days.
this.
I do have to issue an on-air apology for my unprofessionalism yesterday during the 12 o'clock hour as my now favorite Cleveland Guardian player of all time, Brian Rocchio, sends one to the seats.
It is great though because we have the YouTubes because it's on the socials.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I know. I noticed that when I had to take a pee at like 3 a.m. I'm not big on the socials, so I'm like, I go on Instagram maybe like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it's usually when I've exhausted Reddit.
I've read everything here.
Yes, I've done everything. Show prep's good to go. And so I saw that. Like, shout out to Jake though. I love when he does that stuff, and that was really fun. But Daniel, we're professionals here, and
We're not.
that wasn't really professional, my friend. I got to be better than that. We'll come to play today. To my defense, though, in the 9th, Brian Rocchio had an error. Okay, so just throwing that out
Just
there.
wanted to,
I did yell in my car though when Bo Naylor hit that home run.
there you go.
Yeah, I was waiting at the light to get on 405, and I'm just yelling, "Bo, Bo!" I never get to see somebody in their car freak out about something, but boy, am I the one freaking out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It happens.
I know. And it's tough too because as a sports fan, like if I'm listening on the radio and it's, let's take you for example, it's USC Ducks, all right?
Yeah.
I don't got a dog in this fight, and Mayava throws a game-winning touchdown at the end in the radio call, and someone's in their car and they're like, "Son of a," they're like yelling. At least I would know what they're talking about. When Bo Naylor hits a home run
Everyone's like,
for
"What is-"
Cleveland, they're like, "What is this guy freaking
Shrugging.
out about?"
See, I'm twisted in the sense that if there's something I really want to watch, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to be in my car. I will sacrifice everything to watch it.
I'm kind of the same way. Baseball can be my exception a little bit because I
fair.
love radio baseball.
That's
I love
fair.
radio baseball.
I do like radio basketball in a sense, but I don't want to be in the car, so I don't really have too many of those moments. Mine are more. I'll have a full-on car concert.
Yeah.
I'm like Phil Collins in the car, man. Are you kidding me? I'm playing them drums.
I think what it is too with baseball in comparison to, say, football or basketball is there's a built-in 20-minute break.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I can run to the store. I can go do whatever. I can.
Yeah, sometimes I'll watch like it'll be the Sunday afternoon window, the 1 o'clock game. Okay. And I will, finishing up my chores around the house, watching the first half. And then at halftime, I'm like, and go. And then I get in the car and I run down to the bar to meet the boys and finish the game. But it's like, like I said, I got that 15, 20-minute window built in.
I had Ducks game.
You don't get that with baseball.
With Ducks game, I had to kind of pre-plan all the social stuff, but it's a late game, then it goes to overtime, and I'm waiting for everything. I haven't taken my dogs for a walk because I've been so busy the entire day, and I'm like, okay, am I going to get, and then like, I got to take the dogs for a walk before it's like eternally too late. So I, for the first time, walked with YouTube TV on my phone with my head down like a total sociopath. So I walked around the neighborhood with in the dark.
About to get hit by a car that you're not seeing.
Well, so I mean, number one, my neighborhood doesn't get a ton of traffic especially with where I was walking. But I also, I'm like, you know what? I mean, I might get hit. I don't want my dogs to get hit. So I have these like armbands. You just click them in and they start flashing. And they're
okay.
super bright. So
like a hazard light sort of thing.
kind of a deal, but you just literally slide them up. They're like Nike armbands with this like huge LED block in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I slipped one on each. They have like little, hilariously, and this is so on brand, they have little tactical vests with little name tags on them. I had them made up. Yeah. Everybody sees them. They love them.
To where my dog has a bright pink Columbia rain jacket. Is
that
on brand for me?
Yeah, I know. They do have pink leashes because Dallas, Dallas being the little girl, my wife got up her a pink leash, and then we couldn't find it one day, so I bought another one. So now we had 2 leashes, and so I don't know. I'm getting Tanner comfortable in his masculinity is what I'm saying. But yeah, I like in pure darkness because there's 2 streetlights in my entire freaking neighborhood because the neighborhood's 200 years old. I just have this giant glow as I'm staring at it walking through the neighborhood. So I watch the overtime on my phone walking through the neighborhood. That's the closest I think I've come to that recently.
Lil P on the YouTube chat. True sports fans have absolutely zero control over their emotions in big plays. I started jumping and yelling "bang" at that Manny home run yesterday. I would too. With how much trouble the Padres offense is. I don't mean to get too sportsy here. That's a big moment. And I think I'll never forget. Dame hits the shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Paul George. It's the Rockets.
Rockets 2014, yeah.
It's the Rocket shot, right? Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it's that one.
Yeah, 0.9.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember my story, but I was at a friend's house, a good friend of mine, and she had some people over, and it was a very casual sports crowd. It was not a diehard sports crowd, but it was, Blazer playoffs. Everybody was eating on the, F the Rockets situation.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the birth of our hatred of the Houston Rockets. And so she threw a little party and had some people over. Well, she had a dog that was a little jumpy, and it was a beautiful golden lab named Indiana, like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I like that.
Really, really cool dog. And Dame hit that, and I jumped out of my chair and went, yeah! And the dog bit me in the leg. And I'll never forget that. I think she ended up having to send that dog to like somebody else, like a more trained person.
Yeah.
The dog had too many issues.
Yeah, it happens.
But I think I have a scar on my leg for that, and it's
Nice.
I look at it and I'm like, I love you, Dame.
0.9.
0.9.
.9,
Just get a little
bro.
tattoo next to it. Just says 0.9. Yeah.
I like that.
Sometimes you just, and I think that's what's beautiful about sports. And I run into a lot of people in my day-to-day life. What's funny is being in the beer world for a long time. Not a lot of sports fans cross over. That Venn diagram's real thin.
Yeah,
And
if you cross too deep into the beer world, it leaves sports, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, and so
Because it goes past sports and straight into hipster.
no, not really. It just goes into more.
Come
I
on.
think they just got different priorities.
Come on.
Well, they're all like super nerdy
The
about
further you get
chemistry
away
and-
from sports and beer, the more the mustache curls.
My mustache doesn't.
Tell
curl.
me there's not a direct correlation.
All right, there might be. I don't think so, but you might be right.
I want you to do me a favor real quick.
Shoot.
Look over your right shoulder.
What is this? What am I looking at?
The first preseason game.
Oh, good, disgusting. I mean, I'm watching Jazz Chisholm highlights, and I don't really care for Jazz.
Yeah.
But what I always try to tell them, they're kind of like, yeah, I don't have time for sports. It's not really my thing. And I always say, when you really get into something you enjoy, and you see this, like this is probably a big reason that Sprague told me he's getting into soccer, is the pure unadulterated childish fun you can have with sports.
Yeah.
That when you get invested in a sport so much, like for me in this case, baseball, when something happens that you don't expect to happen that you're really excited about, it's almost like when you get drunk and you're a truth sayer. Like everything you say when you're drunk, you probably should say when you're sober because you'll be real honest. Baseball emotions can be that way too.
Oh, for sure.
And that can really show who you are as a human being. So I'm glad that when Rocchio, somebody who I have criticized many times on this program and in my personal life and in the shower,
You literally.
I got excited, and that was a raw emotion.
It was, for those that missed it yesterday, we're in the commercial break. Cleveland just got out of a jam. Harris is fist pumping. I'm like, I think it was the 6, 7, 8 hitters. And I was like, well, at least Quan and Hosey are going to get one more at bat. Like that, at worst, that's what's going to happen. And you're like, where are they at in the lineup? And I was like, I can't remember who was in front of Kafis.
Yes.
It was Kafis, Rocchio, and I said Rocchio, and you're like, ah, crap, he sucks. And then when he hits the home run immediately, I love you.
I know, I might go buy a t-shirt. I might have to eat crow on that and buy a t-shirt, especially if my team wins today. Sports are great, man.
See, this is what I mean. This is why
Sports
it
are
matters
great.
to have 10 toes down, because if you don't have 10 toes down, you don't get to you get to enjoy it if you're halfway. You don't get to bask in it.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I have to just be a better person about being less nervous in those situations, which is really strange because in my managerial career in restaurants or stuff, and I'm sure if you've ever worked with me, you can tell me I'm a liar, but I always felt I was decent in like crisis management, like I one time had a homeless dude walk in with his pants down yelling he'd been shot. And like we handled that situation as best you could. In sports, though, when it's a heavy moment, I'm just like, oh God, I just melt and I just can't handle it. Oh, boy. And I need to be better about that.
I have to address this on the YouTube chat.
Chip.
Camo, Danny?
Yeah, dude.
For anybody wondering, I'm wearing a Nike Tech fleece camo.
I mean, it looks nice.
I mean-
I would never wear camo, but
I have a lot.
you walked up to the door and I was like,
I can't
I
see
feel
you.
a presence,
Yeah.
but I can't see you.
I mean, here,
I
I'm
can't
just gonna do it this
see.
way.
I can't see.
This, for those watching on YouTube, what color is my lunch bag?
They can't see it.
I know. What color is it? And then my backpack that I have is
John
desert
Cena.
tan, because this is just, that's what the formative years of my life, guys. That's what I had. But also, it goes on further. Probably the first time a member of the Chair Force has ever worn camo. Just because I was in the Air Force did not put me in an office, folks.
Yeah.
I was in the like 0.01% who actually did something.
After Thielman got that pick, I started yelling and my dog started running around barking like something was going on. That's the truth. And baseball lends itself to those build-up anticipation moments because you're hanging on every pitch. And that's why for people, this will be my one little soapbox for the moment. People that say baseball is boring, it's like, it's not. I watch every single pitch.
It is until it isn't.
I understand July and August are dog
Yeah.
days. I get that. But, so is basketball sometimes. And so is a slate like this weekend in the NFL can be where you're like, God, this is what I got to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But, baseball or football and basketball are kind of built on more explosive moments to where baseball is literally nothing to the world.
Full tension.
Yeah.
It's a 3-2 count, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. It just ratchets all the way up.
And you don't realize that solo home run hit in the fourth inning could be what wins the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you can have the bases loaded with no outs and not scratch anybody across.
Oakley Duckley, we got a show for you today. A lot to get to today. We're actually a light football day today. I know we could have some fun
Well,
with
it's because
that.
we're spending a lot on preseason basketball.
The 11 o'clock hour, we'll get into some NBA and WNBA, some stuff. We'll get back into some baseball web gems as well. We will look at the Thursday night football game tonight as the injury report came out yesterday. And here we go again on this. What are you giggling about?
A Fantex line, because I said I looked like I was a sociopath out there watching YouTube in the dark in my neighborhood, and says, Danny, what are you talking about? You are a
You
sociopath.
are a sociopath.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, own it. Speaking of owning it, at 12:15, we'll do 10 Toes Down. We have that for the second time. That's our new Thursday at 12:15. Any and all questions brought to us by you are welcome. 10 Toes Down, an opportunity to get us to say unequivocally how we feel about something in your life, in sports. I got a leftover from last week we'll get to
Anything
as well.
goes.
Anything goes on that. We'll have Tyson Alger in 15 minutes as well. But let's start with here. The Ducks are on a bye this week. Indiana's on a bye this week. Lots of times this stuff doesn't really happen where both teams are on byes. How do you approach that? We'll do that next. 105.1 The Fan.
shaven. Just two little country kids outside misbehaving.
10:18 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it. We are live from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line. She lets you interact with us throughout the entire show. There's also youtube.com/1051 The Fan. Jump in the chat. We're always goofing off over there. From the text line, as a Tiger fan, I'll ride and die with Hinge because of his track record. But when you are 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, try to manufacture a run. Like when you're a shooter on a slump, you drive to the basket. Can't say that enough. I hate Hinch because of what he did in Houston, but he's a damn good manager. Damn good manager.
There you go.
Yeah. Does that count as a 10 toes down?
Sure.
Like an example?
Yeah.
Like I don't like Hinch because he's part of the cheating culture in Houston. Yeah. He's good, though.
He's good.
He's good. Although I don't know if Alex Cora is good. I decided I don't know if that's the truth or not.
Is Alex Bregman good?
Yes.
Yeah, he's really freaking good.
Yeah, so's George Springer.
Yeah. So's Altuve. They're all really good.
Buck Martinez, though, did do us all a solid and said, Alex Bregman, he's one of the best hitters in baseball when he knows what's coming.
That was such a great line.
Such a good line.
I do love me some Buck.
I do
love me some Buck.
Such a good line. Let's dive into a little college football as we're looking ahead. It's a bye weekend for your Oregon Ducks. Remember that you can catch all Oregon Ducks coverage right here on the Fan Sports Network. Games, post-game, pre-game, whether it's our local shows, Jerry and Jorgie, Joey Mack, etc. They're all here for you when it's Duck game day. But there's no Ducks this weekend. But I find it interesting, that there's been a lot of narrative about UW and Oregon's schedule, about playing a lot of teams off the bye. I feel like I don't see a ton of teams play each other that are both off the bye. Is that just a recency bias thing, or am I digging here for something?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you typically get that. If you look at it, I heard the boys this morning talk about it and kind of how the West Coast teams have all been kind of took it in the rear end, as it were, as it pertains to the bye and the travel and the scheduling and time zones and all that kind of stuff.
Can I tangent something on that real quick? I heard that as well, and I think there's a real solid argument, whether you're Lincoln Riley or Dan Lanning in your comments and Jed Fish. I mean, because you're way up in Seattle, you're going really far for a lot of games. I'm actually going to be the other side of this. If you didn't like it, why'd you leave the Pac-12? You don't want travel. Why did you go to a conference that has teams in Jersey? Okay, that's a little bit where I'm like, and maybe that's my sour grapes as one that's left behind.
I'm going to say it sounds a little that.
And if so, I'll own that. But on the reality, though, you can't bitch and moan about being in a bad situation that you chose to be in.
The flip side of that is, in my case at least, my fandom, Big Ten came calling.
Fair. But still, Big Ten comes calling, but you still get to make that choice.
But, again, I'm being asked to the date. Why am I being... this is kind of funny. I'm being asked to the date. I guess that's why I'm being screwed.
But if you're being asked to the date by, Leonardo DiCaprio, you can't be mad if Leo lives in Gresham and you live in Vancouver and you got to drive to Gresham for that date.
God.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's tough.
Like, yeah, you get to go on a date with Leo. I mean, you're probably 22, so you're stoked and you're willing to drive to Gresham. But that's where I'm a little bit like, sorry, tangent over.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And it's not unfair. But the whole, there
are real situations that I understand.
Yeah.
Going to Rutgers one week, coming back for another, and then going to Maryland the next week. That does suck.
That was USC last year.
I get that.
Brutal.
That I understand.
But it's like, there's this, welcome to the Big Ten thing. It's like, what do you mean? You asked us. Why?
Maybe you're in a little different spot, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and not to be the sour grapes part of this, but it's like, nobody would have left if, Larry Scott wasn't an idiot.
That's also true. If we would have got Texas and Oklahoma, I'd be in a Power 4 conference right now.
You would be. And we'd have...
Big 12 would probably be gone.
I lean more towards the ACC just getting gobbled up by the Big Ten and SEC.
Big 12 goes and snags Florida State, Miami, and Clemson.
Some version of that, and then the leftovers end up in the Big Ten or the SEC kind of a deal, just geographically.
Or they get hosed like my team did.
Yeah, no, instead of the West Coast being the one that gets broken up, it's the East Coast kind of a deal. That's kind of how I look
probably.
at it. But that, that domino effect of it all, we all know it was money.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of money, it's halftime in Abu Dhabi for the preseason. And Big Pun. I'm sorry, no, that's Fat Joe. My bad. Big Pun, super dead.
Big Pun, super dead.
Super
Fat
dead.
Joe, super not fat.
Super not fat. So he was on the flight back with me from Summer League.
Uh-huh.
He had security with him, but I wanted to be like,
What up, dude? Just give him a little dap
I,
on the
I,
way
want,
down.
I wanted to be like, because he sat right in front of me for a couple games, and I wanted like, man, Fat Joe is not that fat anymore.
No.
Like it's like mildly overweight Joe. It was just like,
Looking good, Joe.
yeah, right. Let me tell you right now, beard game, that thing looks like it's glued on.
Really?
It is the
Maybe it is.
sharpest
Maybe
frame.
it's fake.
No, it's real, but it is the most framed up beard I have ever seen.
How do you approach a team that's coming off a bye when you're coming off a bye? I mean, you each have 2 weeks of preparation. Does it cancel itself out? Is it
I think it probably does. from the-
negative
from-
1 times negative 1 is
Yeah,
1?
It's 1 times 0. Everything's 0, right? It's we'll make the math simple for you.
Thanks.
I like
Is that
that.
what it is?
Yeah.
Thanks. Not a strong math guy. My kid goes, I got an A in math today, and I was like, good thing your genes aren't mine.
But the idea of the rest and recuperation and rejuvenation, all the R's that kind of go with that, that's probably a good thing. But it's like with anything, when you have too much time to think on things, do you get cute? You know, we've heard so many coaches, whether it's in college football or in the NFL, the bye weeks going into the playoffs, or like the rest versus rust. It's an old.
Does Ohio
tried
State make a
into-
run because they had to handle Tennessee at home and Oregon sat around and did nothing? There's a conversation
There was
there.
a lot of that coming out of
Georgia
Oregon.
sits around and Notre Dame walks in and punches you in the face.
Because especially in college, because they basically had a month
Mm-hmm.
off. Like that's too much because you have to be careful because you can't practice too hard because you don't want to get guys hurt, but
Right.
you want to make sure you're staying fresh. That's just this whole thing that you have to navigate, right? 2 weeks is because that's what it ends up being with a full week off. You know what I mean? Before you play a game again.
Ole Miss better be worried. Wazoo's on a bye this week. We're coming for you. 2 weeks to prep for Ole Miss.
Who's going where?
We're going to Ole Miss.
that's right.
And I punch you in the face.
Yeah, it'll probably be like 87 degrees with 90% humidity.
It's gonna be rough.
What was it? They played somebody this weekend and they had like the on-field temperature was like 102.
They played LSU.
Yeah, that's right. It was,
It was 102 degrees.
Yeah, they said on the-
Mississippi.
on the field.
That's
It like felt
disgusting.
like it was like ugh.
That's you're sweating and you just woke up.
Well, I mean, Mississippi, Louisiana, that's Georgia. That's a different like outdoor. That's a different kind of suck, man. I was at Fort Benning in Georgia in August. I wanted to die. Just shoot me in the face and make sure that I'm dead because I don't want to like also slowly die in that heat and humidity.
Yeah, so I guess maybe you just because the other team's on a bye, you're not really worried about them ramping up for you because they're probably thinking the same thing. So it's just a war of attrition. It's just get your offense, start getting your offense installed, start getting your game plans going, think about what you need to do, and
Just yawned into the mic. I was like, oh god.
and just get to Sunday. Pretend you're playing Montana State this weekend, and then just get through it.
Yeah, I this is definitely this is the I'll be monitoring the situation. Like I have an eyebrow up at it. I'm like, I wonder how this actually impacts, or does it end up being a total and complete non-story?
Does Diane Lanning sit around and watch football all day?
I would imagine so.
It's like his
Like-
one Saturday of the year.
You know what I
He
really
gets
hope?
to sit around and watch it all live.
I hope he's like, I'm gonna like watch nothing but like Love Island, just complete garbage TV for the entire day.
I want him to be in like the student section at Doak Walker for Florida State Miami and just like wave to kids.
Just pop up like, "Where's Waldo?"
Hi. Oh, me? Yeah, I am the coach.
It's like that photo of the one
You guys
duck.
ever been to Oregon? It's beautiful.
The one Duck fan that was in the
Yeah.
sea of white
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Penn State game. Whoever took that photo,
Great photo.
shouts to you. That's a
Great photo.
dope photo. It's the easiest game of Where's Waldo I've ever seen, but
Yeah.
dope photo
That would be awesome.
to be the because he is literally like giving the little wave, like "Hi."
That would be a hell of a recruiting ride.
All right,
You know, you're like, hey, you can't talk to the kids because they're there recruiting for Florida State, Miami, whatever team they're on the sideline for, but you get to just you're just there. Someone's like, Dan Lanning came to watch this game? Maybe I should go play for Dan Lanning.
is there a better game? No, there's not.
No, that's the game. I mean, game day's at Bama Vandy.
I mean, that's gonna be fun. Don't be wrong. That has juice. Certainly.
If 10 toes down, I can only watch one. It's Miami, Florida State.
Yeah.
I got too many questions about both of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we'll get to that tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun.
A fun one.
Kind of chat about that game, what it means for Mike Norvell, what it means for Mario Cristobal, etc. But when we come back, we'll bring in our Ducks insider. That's our man Tyson Alger of the I-5 corridor. Look out, Eugene Springfield. He usually joins us on Wednesdays, but he's with us today on Thursday. We'll do that next, but first we'll toss it to Rust with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Week 5 of the NFL begins tonight with Thursday Night Football. A depleted 49ers squad at the Rams for the 5:15 kick on Prime Video. San Francisco without quarterback Brock Purdy and wide receivers Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, and Jordan Watkins. They are all out. The Rams are 8.5-point favorites. We've got 3 decisive Game 3s in MLB's wild card round today. First up, Guardians hosting the Tigers for the right to face the Mariners. Jack Flaherty starting for Detroit. Former Hillsborough Hop Slade Sassoni for Cleveland. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 11:30. First pitch at noon on ABC. And at 2 o'clock on ESPN, the Cubbies and the Padres from Wrigley Field. Yu Darvish and Jamison Taillon is your pitching matchup. 9:10 will join in progress at the conclusion of Guardians-Tigers. And then the nightcap, the Yankees hosting the Red Sox at 5 o'clock, also on ESPN and at 9:10 ESPN Portland. Connolly Early starting for Boston. Cam Schlittler for New York. For sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Tyson Alger joins us every single Wednesday at 10:30. We had a little. He's on a bye week too, so we gave him a little credit as he can slide away. But we bring him in on Thursday. Thank you, my friend. Tell me you went and did something non-duck related, non-timbers, non-work related, and you had some release.
So hear me out. We've talked a little bit about how fall weddings are just terrible. I mean, if there were no sports, they'd be great because
Sure.
I mean, it's a great time of the year. The weather's nice, but I've missed so many Saturday weddings over the last 12 years, and you know what? It's like that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I had one of my best friends. He's a very considerate guy, and they scheduled their wedding not only for the bye week, but they scheduled it for Wednesday of the bye week. So I don't know who gets Wednesday weddings, but I officiated a Wednesday wedding yesterday. So, so if you want to address me as father for the rest of this interview, feel free to get formal with it.
How about daddy football?
I was going to say I'm more of a daddy kind of guy.
I mean, that's a whole different service that I provide.
One of my closest friends who I worked with for a long time, he officiated my wedding, and my wife, her mother and stepfather are fairly religious people, and after he got done with it, they were just like, Pastor Dan, he's just such a God-loving man. We're just so glad you found such a man with a deep relationship with Christ to do your wedding. And we were like, yeah, Dan and I like to drink heavily.
Yeah. So I'm feeling spry and ready to go this morning, guys.
All right. Well, good for you. Well, let's dive right into it, and we'll make it easy. Oregon's win over Penn State is what?
I think program defining.
Ooh, spicy.
Because we've seen a lot of these where, Oregon's been able to rise up on the occasion, like at home with the Ohio State game last year. And I do think beating Ohio State last year is still probably the best just moment I've been to. But considering where Oregon is in the development of the Dan Lanning era, like these are his guys. That this is a group, a team that's built up solely based off of like his recruiting and obviously some transfers, and to be able to reshuffle the deck from a team that went 12-0 last year to be able to go into Penn State, to go into that environment. I mean, guys, that was as cool of a football environment that I've ever seen, just from not only kind of the pageantry, but just that stadium feels alive, and especially with the whiteout. It's not a gimmicky thing at all. It was kind of goosebumps from probably 30 minutes before kick until the end of the game. So for them to like go in there to play a very good Penn State team in that environment, to be able to take the counterpunch after Penn State came back in the fourth quarter and it kind of looked like the Ducks were out of gas. I just think that's a complete statement about what Dan Lanning has turned this Oregon program into. I mean, they can reach a playoff level in good years, and they can be this good again and not in what was supposed to be a building year. And they went out there and they dominated the physicality, especially in the trenches, which I just thought was so impressive on the road. But then you just see where some of that skill pays off too. I mean, Dante Moore might be the best player in the country, and then just some of the plays where he was able to not only hit guys like Kenyon Sadiq or DeCorian Moore, but then you have like a Gary Bryant Jr. making the play for the game-winning touchdown. It was just a really major showcase of the riches and the development and just the overall planning that this Oregon program has.
I want to back up real quick to the program defining. What is the difference between this win on the road against Penn State versus, say, because the other big road win I always think of is the Cristobal at Ohio State. It's the difference of these because a lot of people thought Oregon had a good chance in this game, and then maybe that game kind of shocked and surprised Ohio State. Is it that they came in with the hype and delivered, or is it just 3 versus 6 or the closer number in rank situation?
I think a little of it was just there. I think people were ready to jump on this Oregon bandwagon, but they were just so hesitant to do it because they hadn't seen them play any good teams yet. And I think this was just kind of the green light to basically be like, okay, like this team is a national championship contender. I still don't think even after that win at Ohio State with that Anthony Brown-led Ducks, I don't think anybody after that game was like, okay, like it's national championship opportunity. I think it maybe brought the playoffs into question. But I will say, I mean, I remember being on that field in Columbus, and that's when Oregon fans still really did like Cristobal, and they were saying a lot of the same things of, this guy's a monster in recruiting, like he knows how to build a program. The refrain from Cristobal was always like, we're just getting started, and then he left before they could really kind of capitalize that. And I do feel like this Lanning program is probably a year or two ahead of wherever Cristobal's Ducks got, and I just think that the mixture of not only the big win, but then just the feeling of stability that you have with Lanning. Like I'm still not worried at all about him ever leaving for another college job. I would, I think I'd get a little bit more worried if, like, say, the Kansas City Chiefs job ever opened up down the road. But I just think, this kind of felt like a stamp. It didn't feel like a lucky win. It didn't feel like a one-off. It just felt like, hey, like this is what this Oregon program does now, and they can come into your house in front of a crowd that's double the size of what they play in front of, and they can be the underdog in the game, and they can knock you around.
Tyson, when you look at this game, you kind of look at this season. We've the first couple of weeks when we had you on, it was like, what do you want to see? How do you want to see it go out? Because we kind of knew how these games were going to play out.
Right.
I'll be honest, it was the first 4 weeks. But now we've seen them against a top 10 program, against a team that has bona fides, that has been kind of stamped, that got some wins in the college football playoff. Is there anything left for you to see or to judge, or are there things that you're looking at where, yes, they're on the bye week, but they've got an Indiana team coming to town, and I would imagine that when the odds come up on that, Oregon's probably going to be favored by at least probably 6.5. But like when you look at that game and you look at the challenge that Indiana can present, because the question I have is, to be blunt, Penn State's offense is trash.
Right.
But their trench is great. They do have great running backs, and Oregon did a fantastic job with that. But they have yet to play a quarterback worth his salt. Is that the only remaining question for you? Is like, okay, what happens when Oregon plays an offense that actually has the ability to attack you?
Yeah, that's completely my last check mark for them. Penn State's a good football team. Like, I didn't come away thinking that was a not impressive football team, but from an offensive standpoint, for 3 quarters they were putrid, and I don't think Drew Aller is a fraction of the quarterback that Dante Moore is, and I don't think he's nearly that. Essentially, that offense just hasn't been able to generate explosive plays for nearly a year. They had some success against the Ducks in the Big Ten championship game last year on the ground, but Oregon was able to neutralize that. And then other than that, they just weren't beaten all that often. And they're going to play offenses this year that are able to have at least some more dynamic presence at quarterback, whether it's this week against Indiana or, you can look down the schedule. I mean, Washington played Ohio State tough there for at least a few quarters, and that game's going to be on the road. That'll be tough. And so it's just, I want to see how they're able to lock down certain guys that have big play potential. You saw how that could kind of burn them in the Ohio State game in the Rose Bowl last year. But, I was thoroughly impressed with the way that the rush defense shored up in this game. I thought Bear Alexander played good. I thought Amari Washington played well. I thought Oregon's edges were fantastic in this game, whether it was Mateo or Tatum Tuioti. It was good to see the defensive backfield be advantageous and disruptive. That obviously the game-winning pick from Dylan, but that's just kind of like what we've been wanting to see against the worst teams. So it's nice to see that it showed up in a big game like that. But then on offense, I'm pretty darn confident with these guys. The line held up really well. The players that you needed to see make big plays made big plays. It's pretty crazy that they went into Penn State and they had one false start, and it wasn't even on the offensive line. It was on the tight end. And so, that's been something that I've been continued to be impressed with, especially since most of those guys are new on this roster. They said it was a focus coming into this year to cut down on penalties, and they really have. I think they had 4 total this last game, and they said that's too much, but that's still not that bad of a number when you're considering the environment. So, yeah, it's a really good team. I don't have nearly as many questions as I did a couple weeks ago. What I do think will be interesting, though, is we're not used to like this setup that's about to come to Autzen, where it's a top 10 game, but Oregon's kind of heavily favored, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think anybody's really expecting Indiana to come in and pull the upset. So how do the Ducks kind of treat this type of game when the team that's coming into play is kind of playing the role that Oregon's used to playing, where it's or Oregon's used to being the one of like let's position ourselves and make our statement to the world and show that like we belong on this level. That's what Indiana's trying to do now, and it's a new team that the Ducks have to fend off.
Tyson, you named off a bunch of guys on defense, and I don't mean this as a slight. Is Bryce Betcher just he's so reliable and so good that you just kind of gloss over it now?
Oh yeah, like I'm just tired of saying his name. Like, I think it's just like you know what you're going to get with Bryce. I mean, he's not only the emotional leader, but he's a cerebral leader out on the field. He's in position just about every single time. There's no player on the team who works harder. Yeah, Bryce, we get it. Like we get it, Bryce. Like we come on, let some other guys shine.
Cool, you're good. I get it.
Yeah. It's kind of like when we come over to I'm just about to hop into Timbers Media, and we talk to Finn Sermon all the time. One, because he's one of the few guys that speak English on the team, but two, like he's really good, and so you kind of get tired of talking to Finn after a while, but he kind of earns it, you know. So
He's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor, and Lookout Eugene Springfield. We'll keep you on for one more segment. You still good on that?
Yep.
All right, cool. We'll take a quick break and come back. And when we get there, we'll wrap up Penn State ideas. And, that running back room established itself, but we got more questions. So we'll do that with Tyson next. 105.1 The Fan. Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor, Lookout, Eugene, Springfield, hanging with us. One more segment. Usually we do this on Wednesday, but Daddy Tyson over there had some other obligations to get to. We'll jump right back into this. I don't want to look ahead too much, and I know we'll talk a lot of Indiana next week as leading up to that game. But something I've been kind of banging the drum on this week, because Danny and I have been kind of talking all season, like it's just really hard to know who the best teams are. Quarterbacks have been just a disaster of a play across the board in college football, and we haven't really seen complete teams. And I've been arguing the two most complete teams that I've seen so far are the Oregon Ducks and the Miami Hurricanes. And I'm curious your opinion, like, if the playoff were to start today, I know we're getting closer and closer to those rankings starting to come out. If the playoff starts today, who's the team on whether it's a neutral site or going on the road, that you think would give this team the most fits? Or is Oregon kind of built to go toe-to-toe with anybody?
Oh man, guys, it's October.
I know, but like I asked you last week, does the narrative on this team change if they win a game? And you and I were both kind of like, maybe it might, it could. And once that game was over, you and I are both going, this team could win a natty.
Yeah, it was pretty striking how it just kind of felt like that that switch flipped, right? It's a weird year in college football. I mean, it's
very.
Like outside of, I think Ohio State still plenty deserves their number one spot until somebody knocks them off. That was kind of a weird game against Washington for a little bit there, though. Miami's fascinating, guys. Cristobal, I think, Oregon fans were really enjoying like that first couple of years where he was struggling a little bit and start to build a little bit of momentum in terms of recruiting, and then he has some of those game management issues that maybe occasionally reared their head over here. But I think people are pretty easy to forget that there were hopes that Cristobal could eventually build Oregon into a title contender, and I think that's what he's been able to at least build in Miami. I mean, I still think that team needs to be kind of tested in high-pressure situations. I think that coaching staff needs to be tested with that team in high-pressure situations, but I think they're very solid. I think Indiana's very solid. Ohio State's really good. But then, you can kind of go up the list of, other teams. It's LSU has looked pretty good at times. They haven't looked good at other times. I know Ole Miss is pretty darn good this year, but also, how much do you trust a Kiffin team over the course of an entire season? I think Oregon's just incredibly well-balanced. Having the best quarterback in the country, or one of the best quarterbacks in the country, certainly helps. I'm still a little curious about just the consistency of this running back rotation. I know it continues to work, but it's just incredibly unconventional, especially then, when we get the Mackie Hughes news this week that he's going to redshirt. So it's just everything looks good from the Oregon perspective in terms of you can be balanced and you can adjust to different teams. But again, as we talked about last segment, I still need to see how Oregon can defend against a team that actually has an explosive offense, because that was not Penn State.
You said something there that made me perk up. You said Ohio State's the number one team in the country until they get knocked off. Harris and I have had this discussion. I have said that I don't think Ohio State has any business being a top 10 team in this country right now based on their resume. Not that they're not good, because they are very good. They have played Texas, and we'll know a lot more about Texas this weekend. But there's also another game going on in Miami and Florida State. Oregon's off this week. If you're Oregon and you're sitting there, are you looking at Miami just a lot closer just to see kind of how you stack up truly? Because if Miami wins this game, nobody has a better schedule than them so far as wins against quality teams. And if you're Oregon, aren't you kind of hoping that Indiana really pushes you, that USC and Washington in the back of the schedule could push you, that Iowa could somehow get you into a dogfight, just to kind of give you that? It's a long season, but when you look at that, the level of being tested, it feels like it's very different for Oregon, just because of the nature of their schedule versus a team like Miami right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to that. Oregon not being tested for the first 4 weeks still worked out pretty well in their favor going on the road there. But yeah, I mean, it's not like this is a super outside of Indiana, there's not a whole lot of games that you go like, oh, that one should be close. I think Oregon's disciplined enough that they don't necessarily need like, I don't think Dan Lanning's going like, oh, I actually hope this game's close, so like we can have them learn from this. I think they're pretty good with that as it is. The thing about Dan Lanning and the staff though is I'm sure they have staffers watching just about every top 15 game this weekend and every weekend just to start planning on all these guys, and especially with how good Miami is and how they've kind of come into focus. I think they are definitely going to be taking advantage of having a little bit of extra time on Saturday that they don't generally do every other week.
You brought up Hughes as he gets okayed on the red shirt. Is this a transfer situation? Is this an NFL draft situation? Have we seen his last play as an Oregon Duck?
I don't know. I mean, like if it's an NFL draft situation, you guys think pretty highly about the guys that the Ducks currently have, right? But I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily the issue. A transfer wouldn't surprise me, but it's I especially since all the guys ahead of him on the depth chart right now, outside of Whittington, are younger than him. I don't imagine this is a situation where you're going to sit out this year and think that you're going to come back next year atop the depth chart. So. I wouldn't be like penciling in Mackie Hughes for big carries for the Ducks in 26, but I've been wrong about things before.
I'll get you out of here on this. 2 more games left in the regular season. Seattle's a pretty balanced team, and San Diego sits atop the Western Conference. Please tell me that my Timbers are going to the playoffs. Please.
They will. But the thing is like, what are they going to do when they get there? Like this has been such a frustrating season for the Timbers because there are stretches of games where I think that they can play as good as anybody else in the league, maybe outside of some of the absolute elite teams. But then, anytime they take a lead, it seems like they kind of step on the gas and they play defensive, and all of a sudden they concede. Like they lead the league in ties this year, and it's ridiculous because it's not games that they were losing and then they came back to tie. It was games that they should have won and then they conceded towards the end. So,
which seems to be a problem for this team, no matter who's in charge.
Yeah. It's just kind of like one of those. That's the Timbers. So, it's been really fun watching Christopher Velda, who came over in the summer transfer window. He's incredibly talented. He's been incredibly unlucky so far. He's hit so many posts. So like you can kind of see some of the potential there and kind of see some of the gelling, but it's one of those things like they have 2 games left and then you're in the playoffs. And as we saw last year, sometimes the playoffs don't last very long if you're not in sync. So I think what's frustrating about this team is there is a lot of talent that you can see. It's just that they're still trying to string it all together for a complete match.
I'll be at the last game, so hopefully I'll see you there. We'll get you out and let you pump whatever you're writing this week. What you got?
Oh boy, what do I got? I'm actually going to have a Timbers feature tomorrow on the corridor, just kind of looking at the evolution of this team from the last time that they went up to Seattle and drew to win the Cascadia Cup. Like a lot has changed in the last year, but ultimately they're kind of in a similar situation. So I kind of outlining where the last year has taken Portland. So that'll be on the I-5 corridor in Oregonian tomorrow.
All right, he's Tyson Alger, joins us every single Wednesday at 10:30. Thanks for moving your schedule around and joining us on a Thursday. We'll catch up with you next week. Enjoy the bye weekend.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Always.
Thanks, Padre.
That is Tyson Alger of the I-5 corridor. Look out, Eugene Springfield, one of our favorite friends of this show, and you'll catch him every single week as our Duck Insider throughout the Duck season. When we come back, we got a loaded second hour. We'll take a pause off college football and start looking around at some other sports as things are starting to ramp up. It's October, baby, and everything comes together in October. So we'll do that next. That's Danny. I'm Patrick. This is 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on the Fan, Week 5 of the NFL begins tonight with Thursday Night Football. A depleted 49ers squad at the Rams for the 5:15 kick on Prime Video. San Francisco without quarterback Brock Purdy and pass catchers Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, and Jordan Watkins. The Rams are 8.5-point favorites. We've got 3 decisive Game 3s in Major League Baseball's wild card round today. First up, Guardians hosting the Tigers. That's for the right to face the Mariners. Jack Flaherty starting for Detroit. Former Hillsboro Hop Slade Sassoni for Cleveland. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 11:30. First pitch at noon on ABC. At 2 o'clock on ESPN, it's the Cubbies and Padres from Wrigley Field. Yu Darvish and Jamison Taillon is your pitching matchup. 9:10 will join in progress at the conclusion of Guardians Tigers. And then the nightcap, Yankees hosting the Red Sox. That is 5 o'clock, also on ESPN and 910 ESPN Portland. Connolly Early starting for Boston. Cam Schlittler for New York. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher and Rashad Taylor. Saturday mornings at 9 on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, hour number deuce here on the firm of Harrison Meringue. You missing the first hour, you can download that, the Fan Podcast, at 105.1thefan.com. The Odyssey app lets you go into the past, but not into the future. Same with YouTube. You can check out previous shows. If you missed Prime Time yesterday, you can catch out some of that. If you missed Josh Pate this morning on Dirt and Sprague, you can catch that. And if you missed Tyson Alger on our show, you can check that out as well. 503-864-6326. We have 10 Toes Down coming up at 12:15, so get your questions in. Unequivocal answers. You have to give a true, honest 100%. All 10 down on the ground. No picket fences on anything you want. Sports, personal life, Danny's attire,
Indeed.
whatever it is you like.
I'll be 10 toes down on something. Camo rules, and so do cargo shorts.
Wow. I am not opening that can right now. I might put that down for closing arguments, bro.
Come at me, bro.
That's a rough statement.
What's wrong with cargo shorts? Where else am I supposed to put my tots?
I have Damn it, Rusty, that was great. I have spent the last 15 years of my life being told that I'm not allowed to wear cargo shorts anymore, to the point when I see people with cargo shorts, I'm like, dude, you're not supposed to do that.
You're just jealous.
Crocs were the same. I got told 20 years ago that no one can wear Crocs. So I see Crocs and I'm like, dude, you can't do that, man.
My perfect life is cargo shorts, Crocs, and whatever the hell else
and
I
a camo
want.
top.
A camo top, yeah. I
With
mean,
a Zin.
I mean,
It's so weird just seeing this floating head over there talking
know,
in the
right?
other room.
Is that John Cena?
yeah. Can't see me.
There's a lot to get to this hour. We'll touch on the WNBA and more so just the empowerment of players and how they can actually get change done if they want to. We'll touch on the 3 games we have today in baseball as well, plus Web Gems, as everybody loves that, at 11:45. But I thought I'd have a little fun with you, Danny. I know that you've been a great sport with baseball playoffs being on. It is preseason of NBA and it is media day. I read a report the other day. It's so funny how looks can be deceiving, because Luka Doncic looks like he's lost 40, 50 pounds, and he actually weighs more.
Yeah. Well, there's also was he being listed at the actual weight that he was?
Totally, man.
Because the answer is no, he absolutely bleeping wasn't.
You think he was fatter?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, man, Donovan Clingan was listed, I think, at 280 last year. He told me he was 297.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's 20 pounds, dog. That is a massive difference.
That's a massive difference. Being 250 and being 270 are a different world.
Giannis is listed, I think, at 240. Giannis is right at 300 pounds.
I was going to say, there's no way.
He is. Joel Embiid, I think, is listed at 290. Joel is like 340, 350.
Really?
Oh, brother, when you see that man up close, it's not just how wide he is, it's how thick he is back to front.
I mean, I
that
believe
man
the
is a
thickness.
refrigerator.
Damn, 340?
Shaq played at 430 pounds.
I guess I'm always used to, when we talk about NFL and offensive linemen, I always think of those Cowboys teams in the 90s that were the first team to average 300 pounds on the offensive line. And I look at 300 pounds at 6'4", and I'm like, that's a big guy.
Now give a guy 9 more inches.
And that's what I always get. Dude, you know me, man. I'm 5'6". The second you reach 5'10", y'all are just tall.
Like,
y'all are just tall.
it was so funny at Media Day. Drew, he was talking about Hansen. He just kept saying that dude is big. Have you guys seen him? He is really, really, really like. Hansen's listed, I think, at 270, and if Hansen is 270, which I think is believable. I think that's probably where he's probably anywhere between like 268, 275, right in that range, right? If he's that big and Donovan's 2 inches taller, do you think Donovan only weighs just a couple pounds more?
Yeah, no way. But I think if you're a Laker fan, and I know this kills you to say, you got to feel real good. Luka coming in.
He looks
looking
great.
Like
I mean,
he looks
Eurobasket.
fantastic.
He looked incredible.
Yeah.
He looked incredible. Like, so Denny has been listed at like 215 for forever. I think they've updated his weight to 229. Denny told me he was like 242, 244, something like that last year.
So what's the point of all
I
this?
have no idea.
Like,
I thought we were supposed to be done with this.
Well, I understand if you're trying to protect a guy like Luka Doncic, who, they criticize him for his weight and his eating habits and his drinking habits. I understand trying to protect him on that. But if you're in good shape, if you don't have these questions, hell, if you're like a TO and you don't drink and you're
body is a temple
and your body is a temple, like what's the point in? I understand the height thing, especially like quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, heaven forbid somebody's actually 5'11".
You mean like Bryce Young, like listed at 5'11"? He's absolutely 5'9".
Yeah, like so that I can understand fudging the numbers there. But if you're Myles Garrett and you're in phenomenal shape and you've got a 30-pack.
Aaron Donald I think he was 310 pounds. And
I don't believe that.
No, he was, because he had a 6-pack. He had to be that big.
He just seems bigger than that.
But he was legitimately only like 6'6", but there wasn't an ounce of fat on that guy. And you're just like, yeah, that's believable. I 100% believe that he's 300 pounds. But if he's that, and you could say, well, muscle weighs more than fat. It's like, he's also not Myles Garrett's. Like, Myles Garrett is 5 inches taller and 4 inches wider. It's like, I don't know. Like, I've always been fascinated and borderline infatuated with measurements. It numbers my brain. Numbers massage my brain. It's
what's Sir Mix-a-Lot say? 25, 34, 36.
Yeah, 36, 24, 36.
Okay, thank you.
But like the numbers of it all.
5'3".
Only she's 5'3".
100%. But like numbers have always massaged my brain, and I've always, the biometrics of things and like the correlation between what guys are what athletic traits that translate and don't and stuff like that. Like, I've mentioned this, I don't even know how many times I'm talking about basketball, and Luka specifically. Luka's one of the strongest guys in the league.
I know, to put more muscle on him is a little scary.
If all of a sudden,
because it was almost like fat kid love cake pushing you around.
Well, here's the thing: Yusuf Nurkic got skinny, and it did not work for him.
It did not,
because he got when you're
a lot of
big
people
guy,
say, "Oh, thank God we got rid of him," but he just changed everything when he left here.
It took a long time for Nurk to kind of to learn how to use his new body, because when you're that big, what you grow up kind of doing is just leaning on guys. And by the fourth quarter, guys are sick and tired of your fat ass leaning on them, and they're like, and you wear. It's like when you see a heavyweight fight, whether it's boxing or MMA. What do guys do? Like Randy Couture, what did he do? It was boring as hell, but he put guys up against the fence and just leaned on them for round after round after round. And like Brock Lesnar, he'll knock you out, but he's just going to lean on you and lean on. Like, when you're that big, it's a leverage. We've talked about in pitching, like CC Sabathia, like keeping the weight on to
310 pounds.
But it protected his body. And
He's also like 6'5".
But again, look at CC.
Well, yeah.
Now think of an NBA player.
Yeah, and look at CC now.
But you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
And it's those kind of things. Like, if you're going down the strongest guys in the league, Steven Adams is number one. There is no Mount Rushmore. It's just Mount Olympus. Like, Steven Adams, there's nobody else is on that Mount Rushmore. But Luka is right there. Giannis is right there. Embiid is right there. Look at all three of those guys. Entirely different bodies, but they're all incredibly strong. And they like, I've mentioned this before. Like one of my favorite things to ask young players is the first time they play either Steven Adams or Luka Doncic. I asked Donovan Clingan when he came on the podcast this year. I go, "What's something that surprised you this year?"
Pitt Panther legend Steven Adams.
And I'm like, it doesn't have to be a star, and it doesn't mean. And he thought about it for a second. He's like, Steven Adams. He goes, I've never not been able to move somebody, and it's just like, you look at Steven Adams. He looks big. He looks strong. But
side note, I love that he's finally getting his flowers. He's been a good NBA player for a long time.
also one of the most well-liked dudes in the league.
Yeah, and then it was like 4 years ago or so, all of a sudden everybody's like, I'd play with that guy in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because
I love it. I love him so much.
He might have the highest approval rating in the league. Like if you
That's
don't like
wild.
Steven Adams, it says more about
About
you
you.
than it does about Steven Adams. But in shape Luka,
It's scary.
look, if it translates, he's been one of the 5 best players in the league for the last 5 years. Like,
Sure.
Screw that. For the last 6 years, outside of his rookie year, he has been one of the 5 best players on the planet. If all of a sudden Nico Harrison poking and prodding him and trading him, you want to talk about? Screw it. We'll do some fat shaming. Have you seen Anthony Davis?
No, I haven't. Looking a little big.
He looks like he wants to get traded to the Lakers.
He's a big ass boy.
He looks like he's out of shape and wants to get traded to the Lakers for somebody more broken than him.
If you don't want to play in Dallas, just get fat.
Just get fat and get traded to LA for somebody who's more injury prone than you are.
I feel like getting fat in Dallas would be a good time.
Like if you look at AD, remember AD when he came in the league? He looked like Kevin Durant.
He did. He was skinny.
He is thick with 5 C's.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that doesn't want to play center. And I'm like, if you don't want to play center, you don't have the body to look like you don't want to play center, big fella.
I think if you're 7 foot, bud, you got to play some center. a
Yeah,
little
well,
bit.
Derek Lively exists.
Yeah.
So does Daniel Gafford. So
Timmy D didn't have to play center all that much.
he did early.
He did early.
He had David there for a little while, but then it was, I mean, they rolled out Fabricio Alberto and Francisco Elson and insert Spanish or South American big man here.
And then later on, it was insert white guy here.
Yeah, Matt Bonner.
Yeah.
Just a little like, hey, all right, we'll give you 10 minutes off the center position, Timmy.
All right, when we come back, I want to slide over to the WNBA, and I want to open this conversation up a little more to the idea of player empowerment and how you really can make a statement when you feel you are being wronged and the rest of you agree. So we'll get over to that. So hang with us. We're having a great time here. 105.1 The Fan. We'll continue trucking in this 11 o'clock hour. We'll take a little break from football. 10 toes down at 12:15, so get your questions in for that. Get to a little baseball as well. But I want to play this clip from the WNBA. And I know on this program we don't talk a whole lot of WNBA, but I think she brings up a very interesting comment when it comes to leadership, and I think something we fail to realize, and maybe in society sometimes too, in your workplace environment or your family aesthetic, whether it's your nuclear or your extended, that when there are issues, sometimes it's worth standing up for, and sometimes it's worth taking a risk, especially if you've had convos behind the scenes with some other people, to stand up for yourself. This is Collier on the commissioner in the WNBA.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them.
That is Napheesa Collier on the WNBA situation. And when you walk into this, and we now have a local kind of spin on this as well with the Portland Fire coming into town, these are pretty damning comments. The fact that she was able to quote a commissioner saying that players that truly are driving your buck and driving your viewers to basically go F yourself is how I view that, is a pretty bold statement. And when you look around the league and you are the one who's in MVP conversation, you are the one that's in WNBA finals conversations, and those three girls that you just named are not, and you are sitting there giving them their flowers for what they mean to the league. The fact that she's able to be a little humble, less braggadocious, but also call out somebody for their misgivings is a wild, wild situation. And if I can understand maybe a little like, hey, come on, give me some credit here. I got a pretty good media deal. Like ESPN has backed it, and they shove it down your face if you watch ESPN. Mm-hmm. So there is a point there, but the way you go about it, it's alienating your players, and all leagues, with maybe the exception of the NFL, but even the NFL has this, it's all player driven. If you don't have good players in your league, I'm not going to watch.
There's, to sound corny, there's a lot of layers to this onion. First of all, I am not a Kathy Engelbert fan at all.
I don't know who is. As somebody who doesn't know the league very well, once I hear this, I'm like, wait a sec, what?
Look, if you want to call the fire angle to it, Kirk Brown was going to buy the WNBA franchise here, and then financially took a hit coming out of COVID, and that kind of led to restarting that whole process. And the WNBA and Kathy Engelbert and your PR team pinned it on the Trailblazers and Jody Allen for not cooperating, as opposed to trying to protect somebody who was going to put a little bit of money in the WNBA. And outside of Steve Ballmer, the Allen estate is worth more money than any other ownership group in the NBA. And it's like, around the league behind closed doors, there was a lot of, what the hell do you think you're doing? You colossal moron. Like, that's people are tiptoeing around Steve Ballmer right now because of everything that's going on with the Kawhi, Uncle Dennis aspiration stuff, because of how powerful he is. And you can say, well, the Allen estate's going to move on. Allen estate's still worth billions upon billions upon billions. They have a lot of say in the league. And she was just going to comfortably throw the Allen estate under the bus. Like, for those that don't know, the NBA as a whole, as a collective, has a 42% stake in the WNBA, which makes this a very unique situation. This is not fully, totally owned and operated by individual owners or ownership groups or governors, whatever you want to call them.
You've got a guardianship almost.
Yes, because to be honest, the NBA ate it.
Yeah, the NBA is floating a lot of that. As the league's
look,
the
they are
league's
doing
growing,
better.
the league's building.
I am not.
I didn't think you were.
No,
I just wanted to get that caveat.
Yeah, I do too. They are doing better. They are still not out here printing money.
No.
This is not the NFL. Hell, it's not the NBA. I sympathize with Nafisa and what she said, because I think Kathy is very bad at her job. Nobody I know that in the media circles or agents that I talk to, that people on both sides or people who work in that league, nobody's ever been like, Kathy gets a bad rep. Not a single. No, she is the Neil Olshey of the WNBA, and that nobody has a nice thing to say about her.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if everybody hates, like, people hated Roger Goodell, but behind closed doors, they're like, he's doing a good job. Like,
Well, every year the money goes up and up and up, up and up and up.
it's like, and the players are getting more money.
Yep.
Now, I do believe WNBA players should get more. Caitlin Clark should not be making $67,000 a year.
There
That's
should
insane.
not be many people in this building in Portland, Oregon, making more money a year than someone who's on the board behind me.
No, and Caitlin Clark or Kathy Engelbert said that Caitlin Clark should be thankful that she has a platform to make $16 million a
That's
year
such
in
a
revenue.
poor choice
Bro-
of words.
Brother, sister, she did that at Iowa,
Yeah.
not on your platform.
Yeah, and I think any commissioner or any owner for that matter should have nothing to say about what a player makes off the court.
No.
I don't think Adam Silver shouldn't have anything to say about what Steph Curry, LeBron James, or Cooper Flagg make off the court. Okay? Goodell, I don't want to hear what you think about Travis Kelce and what he makes off the court. I don't even want to hear you talk about his girlfriend, fiance, wife. I don't want to hear any of that. That does not matter to you. And for you to try to throw that at somebody like I'm in the right and you're in the wrong because you do well off the court, that'd be like me yelling at Isaac Rupp because he gets more sponsorships than I do. Why does that matter?
No, that doesn't impact
That has
you at all.
nothing to
And
do
not only
with
that,
me
Caitlin
or
Clark
him.
has been a bell cow for you financially.
And I love
You
that
should-
I love that she gave love to Angel Reese and Paige Beckers
Yeah.
too, because those are two great players in terms of eyeballs
Yes.
watching. Angel, we might talk about her being a rebound, poacher sort of thing.
The me bounds.
The me bounds, but people are watching, and that's
Yeah.
all that matters. There are plenty of people in many
Yes.
sports. Look, Tyreek Hill, I cannot stand him. People watch the NFL to see what he's going to do.
There's Tyreek Hill jerseys in the stands.
Yep,
So the reason I say there's so many
Jazz
players,
Chisholm, I can't stand
Yeah.
that guy.
but guess what? There's Jazz Chisholm jerseys in the stands. Like it is what it is. There's a lot to this, and I'm sure some people are like, oh, I don't want to hear about WNBA. This is the business part of things that I think is very interesting.
And I'd like to see more players in other leagues. When you get to this, do what she's doing.
Well, that's the thing is this is like Steph Curry doing this to Adam Silver.
That's what I mean.
Like, it's not the best player in the league, but it's pretty damn close.
Look, Bryce Harper ain't number one, and when he tells Manfred to get the hell out of his locker room,
And what-
we're all on Bryce Harper's side on that. Some of us, for the first time ever, are on Bryce Harper's
But
side.
that's the closest thing. That
It
right
really
there
is.
is the close. And Bryce Harper told him to get the hell out of there. He didn't go any further than that.
He didn't.
What Nafisa did, and I'm not mad at her, we have never seen in North American sports. It is insanity.
I'd like to see more of it.
There is going, if you want to go 10 toes down, there is going to be lockout in the WNBA, and it is going to get bad. Because as much as I just kind of berated Kathy Engelbert, the players have an irrational sense of what they are going to get. And that's what leads to lockouts. Because I don't see a gap that's bridgeable here. Either monetarily.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how you meet each other in the middle here.
No, like the middle ground is a no man's zone. Like, this is trench warfare. This has the potential to be one of the messiest lockouts we've seen since baseball was at 96,
94.
94. It's going to be messier. From everybody I've talked to is just like, dude, there's no ground. There's no ground that they're meeting on, because the NBA has a 42% stake. You have owners that have been in the red for 2 decades, and now that they're actually finally starting to see something, they're not going to just go ahead and give that up. Meanwhile, you've got new owners who can't or don't want to see a lockout because they just paid a $250 million valuation on something that you could have gotten for $25 million 5 years ago. So because they're like, whoa, we can't afford that. We can't do this. And you have all of these different competing interests, but also on the player side, Nafisa's husband runs Unrivaled, which is a quasi competing league. They're going to try to leverage that, but it's not at the same.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
But it's not at the same time. So it's like, the push and the pull. And remember, the whole Brittany Griner thing came about because she couldn't make enough money. So she went over to Russia and got busted with weed in her bag. Like, PSA, don't bring weed to Russia.
I would not bring weed to Russia.
Don't bring really anything into Russia, and don't bring anything home. I would highly not recommend that. But there's so many, like, I am very interested in this from a sports business standpoint because we haven't seen anything like this. But with what she has said about Kathy Engelbert, the statement that came from Kathy Engelbert and PR, there was a thing in there where we didn't play the entire clip from Nafisa, but she basically said that Kathy runs her mouth. I'm paraphrasing. That's not the quote, so don't take that. There was no like she she likes to deal in rumors and talk out the side of her mouth, essentially. And there's not a denial or even a recognition of that in this like PR statement that came from the commissioner's office. And it's just like everything about what they have done at that level just feels wrong.
I'll give you an early preview of 10 Toes Down here. Because you and I have chatted about a lockout in Major League Baseball coming because of a salary cap.
Yep, I'm
and you are fully believe
deadlocked.
that a salary cap is going to happen. Yep. What happens first, a salary cap in baseball or Kathy Engelbert fired?
She's
relieved of duties.
I think in the next probably 30 to 60 days she's probably gone.
I think so too. I think there's too much damage control that's going on right now. As this texter texts in 503-864-6326, the league will not recover from any level of a lockout. Might be the death of the WNBA as we know it.
I wouldn't go that far.
I've got it on the 10 Toes Down list. I thought we'd open that up in 10 Toes Down.
That's a good one.
Because it is a league gaining momentum. Mm-hmm. It's gaining momentum. It's in a spot that it's never been in and has the opportunity to be a money-making league, to get out of the shell of the NBA. And I don't know if you have to like pay them back money or how that all works, but
it ain't going to be cheap. I'll tell you that right now.
It is building the momentum. I mean, look at the college women's game. That thing is exploding, huge right now, and it just trickles upwards into the league as well as you're starting to able to market these players. All right, when we come back, we'll take a peek. 3 game threes tonight in Major League Baseball. I'll answer a question about my squad, and we're just going to have a little fun with baseball as we finish up this non-football hour here on The Fan. But first, we'll toss it to Rusty with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, Week 5 of the NFL begins tonight with Thursday Night Football. Thank you, Brandman. A depleted 49er squad at the Rams for the 5:15 kick on Prime Video. San Francisco without quarterback Brock Purdy and wide receivers Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, and Jordan Watkins. The Rams are 8.5-point favorites. We have 3 decisive game threes in Major League Baseball's wild card round today. First up, Guardians hosting the Tigers for the right to face the Mariners. Jack Flaherty on the bump for Detroit. Former Hillsborough Hop Slade Sassoni for Cleveland. Coverage on 910 ESPN. Portland starts at 11:30. First pitch at noon on ABC. At 2 o'clock on ESPN, it's the Cubs and Padres from Wrigley Field. Yu Darvish and Jameson Taillon is your pitching matchup. 9:10 will join in progress at the conclusion of Guardians-Tigers. And the nightcap, the Yankees hosting the Red Sox. That's at 5 o'clock, also on ESPN and 9:10. Connolly Early starting for Boston. Cam Schlittler for New York. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Meringue. Weekdays 10 to 1. The Fan Sports Network. 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Bumping your way closer and closer to a Friday. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line. Shout us a holler also over on the YouTube chat as well. YouTube.com/1051 The Fan. 10 toes down. Coming up here in about 45 minutes to get your questions in. I already got a few going, but if you want to double seg it, we can double seg it. It's all up to you all out there, my friends. But continuing our, I said this, and Dusty looked at me through he was in the producer booth with Rusty there. I said, we'll continue on in our non-football hour here on a Thursday. And he looked at me like I was getting fired.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
We'll get there, bud.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
We like football here.
Preseason basketball's on.
It just means more.
Preseason basketball's on.
But let's chat a little bit about baseball. Obviously, we were here yesterday for Brian Rocchio's massive 2-run homer. But these series are fun. We got 3 out of the 4 games are in 3-game series. San Diego decided to have a little bit of offense yesterday. Manny Machado goes deep off Shota Imanaga, who I really like Shota. That whole Kittredge thing to get through Tatis and Arise and Machado did not work well.
Couldn't happen to a better team.
I mean, it was only 1 run, so I guess, damage was okay, but that was as much as I love Craig Counsell, and I think he does a great job down there. I think that was a little missed opportunity. The real fun thing about today is all your stud pitchers are kind of gone. So this is some real crazy baseball we get to have today.
I mean, it's pretty clear who the best pitcher on the bump is today.
Is it you?
It's you.
Yeah, it's you.
Darvish.
But you hasn't had a great year.
No, but
as far as pedigree,
Yeah,
for sure, I would argue Jameson Taillon's probably number 2. No, I'll give it to Jack Flaherty.
I would say probably Flaherty.
Although Flaherty's had a really tough year.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going into a game right now, there's one team that's we're comfortable. You're comfortable with you.
I feel great going into today with Ciccone. Yeah, I feel good about that.
Do you feel that you have an advantage, or you just feel good?
Oh no, I don't feel we have an advantage.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Darvish is the only guy that I look at and I go, you could talk yourself into it. You have an advantage.
Bo Naylor hit a home run yesterday, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Save that for tomorrow. It's 3-1.
Don't waste it.
Dude, it's 3-1. Our bullpen's in, dude. What are you doing?
When did Yu Darvish turn 39?
This year. Ding.
I can't believe he's been in the league that long.
I know. It's pretty wild.
I remember when he came over, and I'm just like...
Thank you, sir.
But I was looking at...
Dude, he pitched for the Cubs. He pitched for the Dodgers. He's been around for a long time.
I was just like, oh my God. That's right. He spent 5 years in Texas starting in 2012.
Houston won a World Series because they claimed Yu Darvish was tipping pitches. That's how long ago he's been in the league. Also, don't forget, a lot of Asian players come over late. Not a lot of guys come over at Roki Sasaki's age.
Well, I mean, you did. He spent 5 years in Japan.
I'm not sure the number, but
because he was the guy in Japan.
Quick consultation cue for me from the text line 503-864-6326. As a Guardians fan, assuming a win today, do you like your guys' chances against the Mariners in the next round?
You're going to find out, hopefully.
Also, will you be attending any games? I'm going to try to make the Sunday game. I'm a little 50-50 on that.
Wow, 5 toes down, huh?
Yeah, well, it's not 5 toes down. Do I want to go? The answer is hell yeah,
Then
brother.
Go.
Kids, money, all that stuff. There's more to it than that. I've also already been to a World Series game, so I'm not
sell yourself and go to the game.
So I'm going to try to go to Sunday. Look, I've had people ask this question. We were having fun with it beforehand, and if we'll keep it a Mariners kind of local angle here, I think you can talk yourself to this about the Blue Jays as well. Do you want to see the Yankees or the Red Sox? If I'm the Blue Jays or the Mariners, honestly, I don't care which one I see. I think both of them, I think all 4 of those teams have some serious flaws. Detroit is struggling at the worst time possible. Mm-hmm. You've seen how volatile the Yankees pitching is. You can see, I thought Whitlock was left out too late last night for the Red Sox. So there's a lot of stuff. I had a lot of people say that they would rather see Detroit than Cleveland. If I was Seattle, I would rather see Cleveland than Detroit.
Cleveland. Yeah,
Detroit has too much talent.
Yeah,
they have too much talent, and they're not playing very well right now.
But it's the playoffs. It can snap at any minute. Literally flip on a day.
Torkelson could go, 6 for 9 in the first 3 games, and you're down 2-0. I would rather see Cleveland.
Also, Skubal exists.
Skubal does exist.
And do you want to just chalk up a loss?
I mean, Gavin Williams is no Skubal, but
no, he's not. Again,
but nobody is Skubal in the American League.
No, that's what I mean. Skubal's I mean, he's him. He's Timothy Chalamet. Like, just if
You said Scooble is Timothy Chalamet?
Timothy
Timothy?
Chalamet.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Like he's like that's the guy. Like you don't want to face him because you're gonna chalk. The guy just went 7 2/3 with 14 strikeouts and 1 run.
I know.
Like,
I saw my feed today. It was like, well, the Mariners against Tarek Skubal this year. He was 0-2 with a 5.89 ERA. I was like, I don't care, dude. Anytime that guy goes out, he might smoke you.
yeah, you don't want any part of that.
I did have to give Swag some grief tonight for his Dodgers closing out. A, for 2 reasons. 1, I love series that go the distance in baseball. And 2, we'd be in the 5th inning right now. Cleveland, Detroit, if all 4 games were on today, but no, that game doesn't start for another 15 minutes.
I mean, think about it this way: if you're the Mariners, do you want to face Hosey and Kwan, or do you want to face Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Kerry Carpenter, Gleyber Torres? Like,
I'll take Hosey and Quan. I'd rather face them.
yeah,
I think they're better players than all those guys, but they have more of them.
Better than Riley?
I think Jose Ramirez.
Jose is,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Dude, I just saw a stat of the highest combined WAR of the last 5 years. Jose Ramirez is number 4.
oh yeah, no. Hosey's a dude,
That's
but
my guy.
you've got 4 or 5 guys on Detroit
That are pretty good.
yeah, and then
You didn't even say Javi Baez, who's had some great moments
yes.
this year.
And the only reason I didn't is just because he's
Javi Baez.
He's Javi Baez and he's missed some time.
He's making like $26 million a year to do squadouche.
But that's what I mean. And then you get into the pitching staffs, and you're like, I mean, Cleveland's got a good staff, but Skubal in the playoffs when guys are pitching on 3 days rest, like it's just. I'm always gonna go. I don't want to face the team that has one of those ever.
Yeah, do you think Skubal shows up tonight if they need him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He didn't want to come out of that game.
No, he didn't.
As a reminder to anybody who did not watch that absolute gem, his last pitch was 101 mile an hour.
Boy, if I take my Guardians hat off, which I am wearing currently,
You are.
anybody can win any of these games tonight. I don't even have a rooting interest. You know, Boston, New York, screw both those teams. Chicago, San Diego, I can argue both those teams are really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm
They both match up
Dads.
really weirdly against Milwaukee.
Go Dads, for very obvious
I mean,
reasons.
I'm stoked for Phillies Dodgers.
That's gonna be
I'm so stoked.
that's
for
gonna
that.
be a series.
Shohei on the mound, game 1. Game 1.
I wonder if
Pushing
it-
glass now.
I wonder if
back
it'll
in
get preempted by a WNBA cutaway.
time. Don't do that.
ESPN.
ESPN on the app cut away to a breaking developing story in the WNBA and then went right back to the baseball game and missed Shohei's leadoff home run
You went away from Shohei Ohtani at the.
for nothing. It wasn't even like if it was Collier's statement and you wanted to break into that, go for it. But they just went right back to the
even
game.
then,
They just went
you
right
have
back
the
to the
biggest
game.
star in baseball leading off a playoff game. What do you? The entire country of Japan just came to a stop. What do you mean?
When we come back, it's everybody's favorite web gems. Why do they do things that none of us want? None of us want this. Nobody does, but they're going to force it down our throats anyway. We'll get to that next. 105.1 The Fan.
Sometimes it's good.
Aw, I've interrupted happy time.
Sometimes it's bad.
No, son of a...
It's Web Gems,
What'd you do?
the firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 and 1080 The Fan.
All right, this is Web Gems. Do it every single day at 11:45. Coming up in the big nooner here. Are you ready for some Thursday night football? Are you ready?
Perhaps.
I need that DX drop. Are you ready? Doom, doom. Plus, we'll have 10 Toes Down at 12:15 to finish us off on a Thursday. Nice little week so far. Looking forward to Friday.
I don't care about this game tonight.
You know, I did.
I really don't.
You know, I did kind of care about it because we talked. What was it? A couple days ago or last week about 3-0 or so in 3 teams and how the Niners. And you looked at Pro Football Focus, and actually the Niners are ranked pretty high as a complete unit.
But
until you have no starting wide receivers or a quarterback.
Well, then you also factor in who they've played, or I should say,
Fair.
not played.
Fair. I mean, obviously we're gonna watch the game tonight.
I got plans. What you mean?
Oh, dang! You skipping the game, huh?
I might watch the highlights. I mean, I'll end up watching it some form or facet. That's gonna happen. Like, who am I kidding?
I know.
I'm a psychopath. I'll be like, I don't want to watch this. Then I'll end up watching it at 1 a.m. on a replay.
If you told me 2 weeks ago that on Thursday I'd have to have a split screen of Yankees, Red Sox, and a banged up Niners Rams team on a split screen, I would yell at you.
God,
I would not be very happy about that.
This is like asking to die by a gunshot wound to the head or getting thrown off a bridge.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the Niners. I do. I always have. It's the Raider in me. But God, do I hate both the Yankees and the Red Sox. It's like that's why I'm wishing for the sweet meteor of death to land and take them both out. Just like I hate you both. Can you both lose?
So we'll get to that at the top of the big nooner hour. But Web Gems brought to you today by the increasingly support and most likely coming to a full reality any moment now, and that is a 76-team March Madness tournament.
If we keep going back and forth and we're not going to do it, no, we're not going to do it, no, we're not going to do it, no, we're going to do it, no, seriously, we're going to do it, no, we're not going to do it.
Now, I understand how that stuff works because you got to figure out logistics and is it good for the game, but literally
Then just
nobody
shut up
wants
about
this.
it.
Literally nobody wants this.
Well, the television partners do because it's more inventory, it's more money.
Right, but we all hate those guys anyway.
Yes.
We don't care what they think.
No.
But, like, I would even argue that there's college basketball coaches that don't want this.
Well, here's the thing.
Even if you're one of those teams that might sneak in at 74, 73 every year.
I'm going to counter-argument my own argument. Nobody goes to the NIT anymore. Everybody turns it down. The NIT actually used to matter.
I know my team when Clay was there his last year at Wazoo, we lost in the NIT final. We got to go to New York City.
Yeah, like
played in Madison Square Garden.
But it used to mean something.
It used to mean something.
It wasn't this big draw or like people like really cared about it, but it used to mean something.
Well, it had cool stuff too because you would host games for the first few rounds. Like that was always really
and that's
cool.
honestly, it's a revenue generator.
Without a doubt.
It's another stream, but nobody goes because they're just like, we don't care.
I went to an NIT game once
I
at
think
Beasley Coliseum.
I think 8 teams, if I remember right, last year turned down the NIT.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2 or 3 years ago, Oregon turned it down. They're like,
well, how much of that though is because you would get like a bowl situation where a lot of your guys are just sitting out.
Well,
especially if they're transferring or
There's
going
a
to the
couple-
NBA.
There was a couple that were pre-COVID though too. And look, no slight of the Ducks, you weren't sending guys to the NBA on those teams. Like it was just like they looked at it, and I think there was another West Coast team that did the same thing. It wasn't UCLA? It might have been Cal.
I would never turn down a postseason.
But like, they were just like,
even if it was the old what was it, the CBI?
Oh yeah,
Was that the third?
Yeah,
that was the third.
That was the third one,
tournament?
the College Basketball Invitational. Yeah,
I only know that because my team's played in it a couple times.
but like
gone a little
so
deep too.
The counter argument to this is okay. So instead of sending those teams to the NIT, you backload them in the back of the NCAA tournament. That's the counter.
Yeah,
argument for it.
I
But,
know.
like,
And so what? You take like what would be the last 2 rounds of a Final Four or maybe an Elite Eight to a Natty of the NIT, and that's your preempt into it.
And I think that ends up being reserved for not the Woffords of the world, but it's the DePauls, the Xaviers, the teams that have had like
a bad North Carolina.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, remember that was a story last year.
Totally.
North Carolina, they deserve to be there.
Maybe-
and then they go in there and they get absolutely stomped. stomped.
Maybe an Anthony Edwards Georgia team goes in, a Ben Simmons LSU team. They
Yeah.
like sneak you in because you got a top draft pick.
Or you're one of those teams that like over the last 50 years, like I brought up DePaul, Xavier, like those Big East, teams that are like,
Ooh, talk dirty to me on a Thursday.
you know what I mean? Like
Big East teams.
the Marquette teams that were good, but not.
Ooh.
Listen, Marquette's one of my favorite programs of the last 25
Tom
years.
Crean before we hated Tom Crean.
Never have I hated Tom Crean.
Oh, I've definitely hated him.
One of my favorite, not in college, just basketball coaches of all time. I got to talk to him at Summer League a couple years ago, and I was like, tell me more. Tell me more. Like, that dude is a basketball savant. The fact that he's married into the Harbaugh family is the least surprising thing on the face of the planet.
I'm into him on TV a little bit, but I get to like hate watch him.
Oh, he's so good on
He's
TV.
not Jay Wright, though.
Well, Jay's,
Also, Jay, speaking of turning me on a Thursday.
right, that's a good-looking man.
That's a good looking man.
He's got the silver fog. He's like the George Clooney of sports.
I got a type, dude.
Look,
Jay Wright,
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom, my kind of guys.
The other one, no, not so much. But
Dude, I'm not talking about what you believe.
I know,
I'm
but
talking about.
I just can't.
Talking about how you look, baby. You
Just
look
can't.
good. Mike Norvell, what's up?
See,
man?
yeah, it works. But the expansion of it just seems so crappy and tacky and such a money grab. I'm so out on it.
Rufio brings up this great point on the YouTube chat. Just stop expanding playoffs in every sport. I mean, I can sit here and diatribe about like why I'm so sick of rules changing in leagues all the time. NFL drives me bonkers in this because I got to figure out how to do it. And the MLB quietly does it to protect players. They basically created a Shohei DH rule allowing him to DH and pitch in games. Like, that ain't cool, man.
It's the simple things,
For
right?
one guy,
Yeah, well,
the Buster Posey rule, it blew up his knee and now you can't blow dudes up.
but yeah, I don't like this, and I
And
feel
we
like,
love college
yes,
basketball.
and I feel like I'm curmudgeonly like with you with baseball with the pitch clock and now going to ABS and the expanded base. She's like, I don't like it. We're gonna probably end up at a local sports betting establishment. I would imagine that we've been there for the last couple of years, and we're gonna spend time there, and we're gonna
Hear
have
that, AEs? Get on it. We want it again.
and we're gonna have probably like another 6 to 8 hours of basketball, and I'm gonna just be like,
Well,
my
yeah.
vein,
Well,
hook
yeah.
it to it,
In-
hook it to it.
Instead of the two games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Selection Sunday will happen, and there'll be 4 games on Tuesday and 4 games on Wednesday.
Mhm.
And
Which means
yeah.
we might have to spend, I don't know, maybe another day or two up there. No big deal. Be
All
terrible.
right, I'm down.
Be terrible. See,
right, you
that's
convinced
the
me.
thing.
Now
It's like
I'm down.
I want to be all curmudgeonly about it, but then I'm like,
It's like when I got mad that Cleveland had to pay at 10 a.m. I'm like, dude, 10 a.m. baseball in the playoffs is garbage. Ooh, actually,
I could watch it while I work.
being a selfish jerk, I am here for it.
I just left a handprint on my forearm.
I heard it. It didn't sound nice. All right, when we come back, we'll close it up. 1 more hour to go on this fine program. Thanks for hanging with us. 10 toes down. Get your questions in. That's Danny. I'm Patrick. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, Week 5 of the NFL begins this evening with Thursday Night Football. A depleted 49ers team at the Rams for the 5:15 kick on Prime Video. They'll be without quarterback Brock Purdy and wide receivers Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, and Jordan Watkins. The Rams are 8.5-point favorites. We got 3 decisive game 3s in MLB's wild card round today. First up, Guardians hosting the Tigers for the right to face the Mariners. Jack Flaherty on the bump for Detroit. Former Hillsboro Hop Slade Sassoni for Cleveland. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland already underway, and first pitch any minute on ABC. Coming up at 2 o'clock on ESPN, the Cubbies and the Padres from Wrigley Field. Yu Darvish and Jamison Taillon is your pitching matchup there. 9:10 will join in progress at the conclusion of Guardians Tigers. And then the nightcap, the Yankees hosting the Red Sox at 5 o'clock, also on ESPN and at 9:10. Connolly early starting for Boston, Cam Schlittler for New York. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan.
Two down, 1 to go, baby. We'll send you to Ducks Insider from 1 to 2 with Joey Mack, and then we'll hit you the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson from 2 to 3, and then it's prime time, baby, from 3 to 7 to take you all the way home. Shout out to our homie, somebody I've known at this station for a very long time, somebody I love and respect and have always enjoyed working with him. A quick shout out of love and everything to Ryan Buckley as he ventures into his last days here at the Fan again.
Bids adieu.
Again.
As he bids adieu, part 2.
Part 2 for adieu.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll get to see you. I usually don't see you when I leave this. So if you're listening right now, I hope you know that I love you and respect you and will dearly, dearly miss you. Suppose I could just, call him or text him.
Love you,
I
Buck.
do have his phone number.
Yeah, he popped in and dipped out on me at NBC.
Oh, yeah.
He's good at that.
And you were like, I hate that guy anyway.
Rye guy from the freaking Bay, man. I want to hear it.
With Rob out, so you'll get a heavy dose of Ryan Buckley in the next 2 days. 2 days, so give him a shout out. And then you get bonus coverage tonight. Andrew Nemec recruiting from 7 to 8. That'll be 14 hours of
I
continuous
wonder if he'll
live.
have anything on Oregon State.
Oh, I'm probably going to download that podcast from the Fan Podcast for
Because there's stuff
sure.
coming out today that is going to make tomorrow a lot of. If you're a B fan, buckle up.
Yeah, 14 hours of continuous live and local coverage on a Thursday right here on the Fan Sports Network. And speaking of that, on the show tomorrow, we will dive into this Oregon State NIL. Dirt and Sprague kind of beat everyone to the punch on that and had the guy who wrote the story from Sportico on. That was a great interview. Go back and listen to that. I wanted to I'm going to take a real big deep dive into this. I've had some conversations with Andrew Nemec, some other things. So we'll approach that topic tomorrow on the show for a Friday and also maybe try and take a peek at this private equity situation going on in the Big Ten. And then we'll do kind of the normal look into the game. I got questions about, can Cristobal change the narrative this weekend? Can Kalen DeBoer change the narrative this weekend? Some coaches in some really interesting places in college football, plus some NFL stuff to get to tomorrow. And don't worry, baby, we'll talk some baseball too. So that's a good Friday show. 10 Toes Down here in about 15 minutes. So get any of your questions in. We've got a few going. We'd love to have some more, but we'll start here on Thursday Night Football. And we were kind of teasing this last segment about, the borderline unwatchability of this game tonight. I think I'm going to go into this game tonight purely from a standpoint of how good are the Rams. I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to use this game almost like a preseason game. Now, look, it's the NFL. The Niners can win this game. I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing them and they got no shot to win this game. But I think that's how I'm going to look at this game. I think I'm going to look at it like the Matt Stafford to Puka Nacua, which has been the I think they're the number one targets quarterback to wide receiver in the NFL.
Puka's just
And everybody was worried
big.
that Devontae Adams was going to take attempts away from him. So I think I'll look at how good Stafford looks. I'll look at that defense and kind of it'll be my chance to really, really put the Rams on my brain. Are they a team that can win the Super Bowl? Are they a team that can go after the Rams or the Eagles? We saw them in Philly. They're a blocked field goal away from winning that game. And you were looking at the Pro Football Focus stuff yesterday. They were number one, correct?
Yes.
They were number one. So I want to see that tonight. Show me that tonight. I want to see that.
Looking at the game by game grade, these are Puka's PFF grades by game. So they watch the film, they do all the things and put the grades in for him. He had a 92.3 in week 1, 77.1 against Tennessee, 89.3 against Philadelphia, 92.1. He has a 93.5, which is number 1 in the NFL. He is, by God, he has been unfreaking believable. So through 4 games, he has 49 targets, 42 catches, 503 yards. He only has 1 touchdown. That's the knock. He only has
loser.
He has
bum
500 receiving yards through 4 games. Like, he is just, I mean, his numbers are absolutely bonkers.
But a lot of that has to do with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is quietly having maybe the second best twilight of a career. I'll say third best twilight of a career behind Tom Brady and John Elway. In terms of an aging quarterback that clearly has his best days behind him.
Do we put Breeze there? Because he wasn't a spring chicken when.
But they're in playoffs. I'll throw Breeze in there.
Okay.
I'll throw Breeze in there. Although I think this Stafford Rams. I think
Peyton was throwing ducks at the end.
Peyton was rough at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, he won a Super Bowl, but he was rough at the end. And that Super Bowl was also really rough to watch. That Denver defense was pretty good.
Yes,
Von Miller.
it was
You ever heard of Von Miller?
Very good.
Bree, I want to give more flowers to Stafford in this than Breeze. Because I think this Rams team could win a Super Bowl, and that's what I want to watch.
I
tonight.
put Kurt Warner on that list too.
Oh,
Arizona Kurt was.
He's the unicorn of them all.
He's pretty good.
He's the unicorn of them all.
But as it pertains to Stafford may be the best quarterback in my lifetime of get it to the dude. Okay.
Well, you learned from Calvin Johnson. That helps.
Arguably the 2 best receiving seasons outside of Randy Moss's insane season in my lifetime. Randy Moss with the Patriots, not with the Vikings.
Although Randy Moss with the Vikings
was really good, but that season with Tom Brady was just, what is this? The 2 greatest receiving seasons in football: Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp. What's the one constant? It's Matt Stafford.
It's Matt Stafford.
He is the king of get my dude the ball, and he builds a relationship and a rapport with that dude better than anybody else in the NFL.
Yeah,
Burrow's there with Chase.
Sure.
But
it helps that it started when they were college kids.
But it's even more than that. Like, Stafford just builds that up, and you know where it's going, and it does not matter.
Is he going to go down as maybe the most underrated quarterback in the history of the NFL?
He's on the list.
Because I think
he's 100% on the list.
I think he would have stayed in Detroit for his whole career.
He 100% would have been the face.
I don't know. I was going to say he would have disappeared as the most underrated.
I don't think so, because his numbers would still be.
Because I think he would live in like a Matt Ryan world.
Which,
like a really good quarterback, but not a Hall of Famer.
Well, no, his numbers still would have been so. You know what? Let me pull these up. Pro Football Reference. I want to see where Stafford sits all time.
Hot take on the fan text line. Puka's a mediocre guy. Stafford just force feeds his dudes. Megatron, Cup, and now Puka. Do the dudes take advantage of the forced targets? Yes. Is it mind-boggling or super impressive? Not really.
That's
Puka, third-tier fringe, second-tier guy. That's almost as hot as you saying Dante Moore was rattled in the first half.
That's a spicy take.
That's real spicy.
That's a spicy take.
I mean, I hear it. I don't think I agree with it.
Let me see.
Good on you sending that in. 503-864-6326.
Where do you think Matt Stafford ranks in career yardage all time?
Top 10.
He's 10th. Who is in front of him is a legion of yup. Dan Marino.
Yep.
Guess who's next?
Uh,
Just said his name.
Tom?
Matt Ryan.
Oh, Matt Ryan.
Phillip Rivers.
Rivers. That's my guy.
Then it's
That's my quarterback.
Rodgers. And you will not, a modern era Super Bowl winning quarterback is 5th all time. And I bet you if you quizzed people outside of his city, they would not get this.
Is it Joe Flacco?
No.
This is all-time yards?
All time yards, 5th all time.
Won a Super Bowl.
Won a Super Bowl.
And nobody's going to get this?
Nobody outside of his city.
And it's a modern-day quarterback?
Yes. Nobody will get this outside of his city.
Is it Russell Wilson?
No. No.
Okay, I'm out.
Roethlisberger.
Benzo, huh?
No one outside of Pittsburgh is getting that right. No one outside of Pittsburgh is getting
Yeah,
that.
we don't think of him as passing yards. He played for a long time, though.
64,000 passing yards.
Hmm.
Ben Roethlisberger. People do not think of Ben Roethlisberger when you talk about prolific passers.
No, you don't. No, you think of gamers. You think of Moxie. You think of he's got a little Dan Fouts in him where you can see dudes hanging off his arms and he's somehow throwing the ball down the field.
Shaking somebody off. And
Yeah.
we'll go again. Your top 10 in passing touchdowns. This is going to really kind of, if you want to talk about the underrated all time.
Yeah, well, you're going to have Breeze 1, Manning 2, or
No,
Brady 1.
No, underrated.
Oh, underrated.
You-
I
because-
just was
No,
was on the list.
but okay, passing touchdowns, yes, you've got Brady 1, Breeze 2, and then Peyton 3.
Yeah.
It's all the guys you think. Rodgers 4,
Rodgers at 4.
Favre 5. Try and name 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Is one of them Matt Stafford?
Stafford's 9.
One of them Matt Ryan?
Ryan's 10.
And then your other ones are probably Dan Marino.
Marino 7.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 6 and 8 left.
6 and 8 left. Give me.
Are we still on passing yards?
No, we're on
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
Paying attention over there, Rust?
No. Joe
I'm out.
Montana.
I'm out. Aikman?
It's the other guys. 6 is Rivers. 8 is Roethlisberger.
If you, yeah.
Roethlisberger's the most underrated quarterback probably ever.
He's got 2 rings.
He's top 10.
He's got 2 rings
in
and a loss.
passing yards, passing touchdowns, and he's a Super Bowl winner.
I think Roethlisberger is properly rated.
Nobody is putting. If you ask somebody to rattle off their top 10 quarterbacks of all time, outside of Pittsburgh, he's not making that list.
I think he's properly rated because he played in a time with Brady and Manning and was still able to get Super Bowls with those guys. Look, there's a while there where if your name's not Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, the only people winning Super Bowls is Ben Roethlisberger.
But think about this: like he's ahead of guys like Elway. He's ahead of.
That's also a modern game, though.
I know.
Keep
but
that in mind.
again, like you go down.
That's why
this-
Marino's the most impressive of them all.
like, Mahomes, Bledsoe. Like you just kind of go down this list of guys. Donovan McNabb, Steve Young. It's. Do you know what's nuts? Is Ryan Fitzpatrick is 40th all time in passing touchdowns.
Played till he was
He
45.
played for a long time. But like again,
And on bad teams that had
to
to
your
throw
point
the ball.
of Matthew Stafford, I think even if he stays in Detroit,
We start looking at these lists.
you start looking at it, you're like, God dang, this guy's numbers are bonkers. Like we had this discuss. I don't say argument because you and I both agree a couple weeks ago about is Stafford a Hall of Famer? It's like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, the Super
What
Bowl
do you-
cements it.
Yeah, but I mean, like even without that, like Dan Marino was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but Dan's different. Dan's different. Dan and Aaron Rodgers are like, if you could take Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers and put them in the same body, that's the greatest quarterback of all
Oh
time.
yeah. But I think it goes to show like is like where Stafford is, where Roth, like your all time.
Amazing what happens, how easily you can disappear in
Yeah.
sports.
But like if you're talking about the all time underrated list, your Mount Rushmore is probably Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. That's probably the list.
How are you underrated?
And
Top
your-
10
and your top 10
TDs,
is-
receiving yards, and you got two Super Bowls.
But that's what I mean. Like
and a loss
I bet you people.
to Aaron Rodgers.
Number one, people are going to put Elway higher. That's 100%.
Definitely.
That's 100%.
That's nostalgia, too.
That's 100% going to happen. You're going to have some old heads like Johnny Unitas, like something like that is going to pop up, or somebody's going to put Mahomes there. Someone's going to put Mahomes
Well,
like
he
top
will
4.
finish there.
But you know what I mean? Like somebody's going to put him there. Somebody's going to put some weird person out there's going to be like Boomer Esiason is going to be up there, and of course Steve Young's going to be up there.
I know.
Like you start,
Imagine if Steve Young had 3 more years.
but Terry Bradshaw's,
Before or after.
you know what I mean? The eras certainly skew this stuff a ton, but Stafford's numbers and his production, his career, is insane.
All right, last call for 10 Toes Down. We do that next. Unequivocal answers to the questions that you have going into the weekend, whether it's sports, personal life. 1 out, top of the first, 0-0, Cleveland and Detroit. Detroit's got a base runner on first. 10 Toes Down is next. 105.1 The Fan. Can't count on much these days, but you can't always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. This is 10 Toes Down. We do it every single Thursday at 12:15. We're happy to have you. 503-864-6326. Also, the YouTube chat is how you can get those questions in. And let's just jump right into this because we had a leftover one from last week that I have a feeling can get a little spicy in here, but let's not get too wild on this. 10 Toes Down, at their peak, Guns N' Roses was a top 10 rock band of all time. 10 Toes Down, you want me to start? I will start.
Yeah, go.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
No. No, thank you. Slash is fantastic. I'm not a kind of guy. Plus, a couple of their most popular songs are songs other people wrote.
Fair.
And the band as a collective is not as good as a lot of other bands out there.
Their peak was very short.
But very big.
But very big. But I'm a huge Slash guy, so it's hard for me to like say no. I get where this is coming from.
I mean, the November Rain when he's got the cigarette in his mouth the whole time
are you kidding
is
me?
so amazing.
That music video, that's good, yeah. Sweet Child of Mine. Like I remember Skate World, speed skating backwards.
Just
Sweet Child of Mine. I mean, that was that's I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna be 10 toes down on the no, but I get your argument. You're not coming from a crazy place.
That
but
sounds a little 5 toes on each side.
I'm saying no. I'm
Okay.
saying no.
We'll get to a little bit of sports. Let's get into that WNBA conversation that we were having earlier. This question came in on the text line, and whether you meant it for 10 toes down or not, I thought it'd be fun for this segment's purposes. Do you think a lockout is what we were discussing in the WNBA? Do you think it will destroy the league? People will lose interest from all the momentum they've gained. Do you think the league will be done after a lockout?
No, but it's going to hurt them a lot. It's going to hurt them a lot. It's not going to kill the league, but it is going to. This is a fork in the road for the WNBA. It's not going to kill them, but if they don't get this right, you're not looking like a USFL situation, but you may see a splintering.
Well, I think having the NBA backing you still will keep you alive.
Yes, and that's
so I'm
where I
10 toes down, yes, but all the goodwill you've done over the last 5-10 years, it will put you back 10 years. It will all be forgotten. I mean, Caitlin will still be around, Paige Beckers, and some of the OGs, Sabrina,
Thankfully,
and
you've got young
Asia,
stars.
and all these people, like, they'll still be around, but all that momentum you built over the last 5 years will send you back 10 years. Because now you're going to have to re-convince people to watch a league that reality people weren't watching in the first place.
And wow. Oof. No, you.
Me?
Yeah, snuck that one in there.
I mean, it's just it's not that I don't like the league or don't like the sport. It's just I look at numbers.
Yeah.
I see numbers.
And it is doing better, but and again, it's not going to kill the league for the one reason that you mentioned for me is the NBA having a 42% stake in the league, so it's not going to allow it.
They'll back it. If they've taken a loss in money before, they'll do it again.
They did it for 20 years. 23 years, I think is the exact number if I remember right. But beyond that, I hesitate to say this just because and nobody here is going to get worked up about it, but WNBA fans are some of the most tribal fans I've ever seen in this country.
Dude, it's like MLS, man.
It's bad. And the female sports segment has never been through one of these.
That's true.
At this level.
In any sport, yeah, that's fair.
And particularly in this country, I'm very interested to see how fractured that gets. Because the female sports base, not that you didn't exist, that you didn't matter, you've just never been on this level of a platform before. And if all of us, like,
it's almost kind of talking about
the picking of sides, that the tribal part of that, I'm very interested to see how that shakes out.
Also, yeah, that's a great point too. In the you've never been here before, how do you handle it? It's kind of like somebody that's never been to a Super Bowl or never been to a World Series. How do you perform on the big stage? Do you get cocky? Do you get scared? Or do you stay focused and locked in?
Do you fracture?
I'd be interested to see, and if there's any of you WNBA fans out there, 503-864-6326, I'd be interested to see the reasons, and I'd love to hear the discourse on why you wouldn't take the players' side in this. You know, like you
but,
like.
But what play? Because here's the thing: there are gonna be players who are gonna be like, I don't want to walk out because I need this.
Because
like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And like, and they're gonna be
because
some,
I don't make $15 million off the court.
and that's
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like
You mean it from a player perspective, not a fan perspective, which will trickle to the fan.
and there will be inevitably because it happens in the big, the big four. There are plenty of people who take the owner's side because they look at this and they go, you're getting paid to. You can say whatever you want about billionaires versus millionaires, all that kind of stuff. We're not even doing that with the WNBA because none of them are millionaires on the court, but you're going to get people siding with ownership. Like
if my favorite player is Asia Wilson and she decides she doesn't want to lock out, do I follow her? That's a great question.
That's what I mean. Like, because
that's a great question.
And that unification, the only thing I think that the WNBA players are unified on is wanting more money and wanting Kathy Engelbert out.
Yeah.
I think those are the only two things.
But if it's going to cost you money for some of those, you might change a tune.
Mm-hmm. You might go to overseas. You might head to another league. You may just be like, I can't afford.
And this is why there will be no guaranteed contracts in the NFL because the NFL will wait them out.
That's why the NFL will never ever win that battle.
And you could maybe start an argument that was a mistake in previous collective bargaining agreements for the NBA because there's no going back.
Mm-hmm.
Once you do it, there's no going back. Yep. And that's why I am the anti of you in baseball, that there will be no salary cap.
That's why baseball is going to push so hard for it. And if they don't, they bar the doors.
Mm-hmm. This is 10 Toes Down. We do it every single Thursday at 12:15. Your unequivocal questions that we have to put all 10 toes down to answer. We've got some more for you when we come back. But first, the Big Kahuna with sports.
You ever had a Big Kahuna burger?
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, Week 5 of the NFL begins tonight with Thursday Night Football. A depleted 49ers team at the Rams. It's a 5:15 kick on Prime Video. San Francisco without quarterback Brock Purdy and receivers Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, and Jordan Watkins. The Rams are 8.5-point favorites. We got 3 decisive Game 3s in Major League Baseball's wild card round today. First up, the Guardians hosting the Tigers, currently on ABC and 910 ESPN Portland, for the right to face the Mariners. They are on their way to the top of the second, and we are scoreless. Coming up at 2 o'clock on ESPN, it's the Cubs and Padres from Wrigley Field. Yu Darvish and Jameson Taillon is your pitching matchup. 9:10 will join that game in progress at the conclusion of Guardians-Tigers, and the nightcap, Yankees hosting the Red Sox at 5 o'clock. Excuse me, also on ESPN and 9:10. Connolly early starting for Boston, Cam Schlittler for New York. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of dirt and spray. Weekday morning 6 to 10 a.m. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda.
Shout out to the guys on YouTube. We left the camera on, and Danny and I were having a really fun discussion.
Yeah,
in the
no,
break.
we were not mad at each other at all. We were just having a very intense. For those that don't know, like that's normal.
Yeah. The
That's-
mics just turn off because we have to fit in our endorsers.
Yeah, like, we just push the mics away and we like whatever we're talking about before or something we're going to talk about or something pops up on Twitter or something like that. The only difference is I cuss a lot more.
Ditto.
It's amazing when the red light comes on, I just stop doing it. I just need to have one of these in my life.
And then I hear the phrase all the time of, this is going to sound really out of pocket, as Danny says something that's really in pocket.
Yeah, like, it's you can't be as blunt or as forceful. And if you think I'm blunt and forceful on air, you've no idea.
10 Toes Down. We do it every single Thursday at 12:15. We'll keep this riding in for a double seggy today. Here's a good one. Food-wise, with me, all things considered, lamb is better and more versatile meat than beef.
Let me go and stand up for this one. Let me go and put all 10 on the ground,
I'm
ladies and
turn
gentlemen.
my volume down.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Didn't
Yes.
expect that.
We are the only major country in the world that does not have lamb at the top of the meat food pyramid.
In the world, Craig.
It is the most widely produced meat outside of chicken. Like it's like red meat.
Yeah.
And it's expensive as hell here, and I don't understand why. It's delicious. Dusty's gonna come running in here and be like, "Don't you dare bring lamb in the studio again."
I love lamb. I think the problem with me is I've had it at restaurants so many times that I never order it anymore because I've been burned a lot on lamb.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have. I do agree it is extremely versatile and lovely, but I think it's easier to screw up lamb than it is beef.
I will agree with that.
And
I will
I
agree
think,
with that.
And I think I'm probably going to the wrong restaurants or ordering lamb when I
Because
shouldn't.
good lamb.
But my wife will make a lamb bolognese that.
Bro, when you pair lamb and Italian food, it's a just
Lamb done well, better than beef.
Yes.
But being more versatile in terms of
Also-
potentially sucking, I don't know.
Yeah, I ate lamb for basically 5 years in the Middle East.
Well,
and
yeah,
it was just
that's what's there.
in every shape, form, and fashion. And it was always so unbelievably good.
Hey, guess who just got a single in this game?
Who?
Chase DeLauder.
Hey, is that
Welcome
his first
to the
hit?
postseason, baby.
Oh my goodness, good for him, man. He
Welcome.
got a walk yesterday. Now he get his first major league
Got a
hit.
walk, an error, and a single. Dude, you're on the path,
Look at
man.
that.
Welcome to Cleveland, baby.
Look, I love this. They're cutting away to all 30 of his family and friends in the stands, and they are losing their minds. That's the thing I love about baseball, man.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
When you first come up and you get your opportunity, look at he's tapping the helmet to the family. That's
Don't
cool,
get
man.
thrown out on the base path, brother.
Don't Jose this.
Don't do this. Zach
Too
says
soon?
on the YouTube chat, beef is just more profitable, so surprise, what do we get the most of? Welcome to America.
Well, beef
That's
is
a
more,
fact right there.
Beef is more profitable in the sense of like per pound because the scale of the animal.
and in
but
this
it's-
country, we make way more of it.
that's the thing is because if you go anywhere else, there's more sheep and lamb than anything anywhere else. It's almost as prevalent as freaking chicken. It's nuts.
10 Toes Down, what's the worst World Series matchup from MLB's perspective, but the best from a fan perspective? It has been floated on the text and YouTube that it is Brewers-Mariners.
The battle for the Seattle Pilots.
Now, keep this in mind. It is the worst for the MLB and the best for the fans.
Because in the NL, it would have been the Reds, 100%.
Reds Guardians, 100% would have been terrible for baseball. Also terrible for fans.
Yes.
That would be rough baseball to watch.
But
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
you're not really getting a team that's not quote unquote good and or fun out of the NL. I mean, the Brewers are good and they're fun.
They're really good.
Like,
And Pat Murphy is a red ass.
yeah, like
he'll get fired
there's
up.
a lot of stuff there.
He keeps pancakes in his pocket.
I'm gonna go out of left field here. I'm gonna go Brewers Jays because nobody gives a damn about.
But
Canada.
a whole country.
We don't care about them. I think it would be great for fans because the Blue Jays are. I mean, dude, are you kidding me? Vladdy Jr. Bichette, like I mean, you've got dudes. Like that's a fun team.
What's really difficult for me is I really want to say Phillies Mariners.
No, that's
because so many people hate Philadelphia.
But that's the thing people would hate watch.
And people think the Pacific Northwest is full of a bunch of losers. but I think that would have a lot of juice baseball wise. And with Cal Raleigh and the Mariners being good, finally, I think that loses that for me.
Because the Red Sox, Yankees, you just throw that out entirely.
It's so hard for me to look at this because I watch so much baseball. I think the answer is Blue Jays Brewers.
Right.
I think it's Blue Jays Brewers, and I think it would be really, really good baseball.
Because even like
I'll take the Brewers in 6.
like even if the Tigers, let's say
I
the
might even
Tigers
throw
find their
out
game.
San Diego, Toronto. No, too many
No.
superstars.
Yeah, that's the thing. Tatis and Machado, like they're Major League Baseball's totally fine with that. But nobody in this country gives a damn about the Blue Jays. Nobody. Nobody cares.
No.
And if you throw the Brewers in there, who are out of Milwaukee, yeah, they're fun, they're cute, they're a long-established franchise, but outside of that region, nobody cares.
I love this text. You're cute. Cubs, Red Sox. You're cute, but outside of Dodgers, Yankees, that's probably number 2.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you've got 2 of the oldest.
I like where your
fan
head's
bases.
at.
Yeah.
I like trolling. I like where your head's at, but that's the number 2 most rated World Series.
Yeah,
Cubs, Red Sox, losers on losers.
I
Let's
would
go.
hate that with a fiery passion of 1,000 suns.
I don't think it would be very good baseball
No,
either.
no,
just
God, no.
personally.
No,
I don't think the Red Sox are very good.
Because the I think the other argument from the AL is Tigers, but Scooble in a World Series.
Tigers are good.
That's what I mean. Like they could 100% be fun and good.
My buddy just texted me, like, who do you want? If you're a Mariner fan, would you want to play Cleveland or Detroit? The answer is Cleveland, dude.
Yeah.
Detroit has guys everywhere. Even though they've sucked for a while, they got guys
And the thing
everywhere.
is, the Blue Jays have dudes. There's no doubt about that.
Some kid named Vladdy Daddy.
But nobody in this country cares.
Yeah.
So.
Plus George Springer.
There was another one on the YouTube, 10 toes down, NBA wise. Who's the team that comes out of the East?
10 toes down, boy. They want Orlando, and I'd love to say Orlando.
I would love to say Orlando, but I'm not going to.
10 toes down right now. Give me Cleveland.
Yep.
Especially when LeBron goes there at the trade deadline.
Oh,
that was a hot LeBron
Yeah,
take.
no, I was like, oh my God, did he hit another home run? Like,
No, give me Cleveland. I think it's their year to do something. I think the Tatum injury comes at a fortunate time for them.
But hey, he might be back now. He's out there. That Jason Tatum, the Celtics saw what happened to Kawhi, and they put Jason Tatum on a full-on PR press tour of this new medicine and treatment that he's doing. Because I imagine
what is it called? Steroids?
Yeah, they did his Achilles repair within 24 hours, which is not normal. And there's this whole new process. And he was out there peddling this drug and talking about all of like it's like TB12 with his alkaline water. It's like, okay, let's see you come back first. And I hope he comes back, and I hope he's great. And all those things are awesome. But if Cleveland doesn't do it and there's not an injury,
heads are gonna roll.
Like that's a problem.
Cleveland won. I'll go. God, the drop off from here for me is so rough.
People are buying the Knicks, and they did look very good.
I'll go Cleveland 1. I'll go Knicks 2. Give me Bucks 3 just because of Giannis.
Okay.
And I'll take the Magic there at 4.
I would go Cleveland, Orlando, New York.
Okay.
The spicy one that everybody seems to like is Atlanta, but if your point guard's 5'11" and plays
I'm
zero
out.
defense, I'm not interested.
I'm out.
Rest of that team, I like. I like Dyson. I like Risa
out.
Shea. Like I'm picking up what they're putting down, but Cleveland. This is a zero excuses season out of the East, with the knock on wood of injury prevention.
Back to this baseball thing. I would like to see Cleveland Dodgers. I'd like to know if
That's selfish.
pitching could stop that.
That's nothing.
Do they feel inevitable after watching this? Like they've struggled throughout the season. Do they feel a little inevitable after playing the Reds, or were they playing the Reds?
Well, yes, they're playing the Reds, but the only thing stopping the Dodgers is the Dodgers.
That's true.
That's
the stats on 8th inning hits and runs and pitches for the Dodgers in these 2 games is so ridiculous.
They had, in the 2 games against the Reds, for those that weren't paying attention, just saw the scoreboard, they had 28 hits in 2 games.
That's nice. And I think they found their closer in Roki Sasaki.
So, again, the Dodgers get out of their own way. There's nothing to stop them.
That is 10 Toes Down. We do it every single Thursday at 12:15. If you guys participate enough, which you did today, thank you much for all of your interaction with us. We can run 2 seggies or we can call it a day. Speaking of calling it a day, we'll do that next. Closing arguments. 105.1 The Fan.
Chris and Meringue is wrapping up for the day,
You want answers?
which means it's time for the closing arguments
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
on the Fan Sports Network.
You can't handle the truth!
105.1 and 1080, The Fan.
All right, that'll do it for us. Adios.
See you later. Bye.
If you like radio calls of baseball, you can switch over to our sister station 910. She'll be playing all those games all day. So if you're bouncing around in your car when we're in commercial break,
I like how 910's a she.
they're all a she, baby.
A she.
They're all a she.
We get it. What's her name?
910.
No.
She a 9 or a 10? You choose,
Oh,
baby.
hey. Like that.
You choose, baby. So if we're in commercial break, why don't you slide over there, catch an inning or so, and then swing on back because we got live local programming today.
Don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial.
We'll be back.
You think we see Scooble in this game today?
If they need him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's win or go home.
I guess
so
everybody's available, right?
elimination game, all bets are off.
Yeah, I don't think Shota Imanaga will come out for the Cubs. I don't think so. Dylan Cease had a nice game yesterday. Plus, his mustache rules. Dude, baseball facial hair, when done right, looks awesome.
The only ones who do it better are the NHL.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because a lot of those guys in the NHL, though, they have these scraggly beards because they can't grow a beard.
I'm talking about when done right.
Oh, when done right, yeah.
An NHL playoff beard is something to behold.
Stephen Vogt has decided this is a borderline bullpen game as Ciccone has already been pulled and they're
Third
going
inning.
to the bullpen. Runners on first and third.
45 pitches?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Boss man Cooley, noted Red Sox fan, he asked me, hey, you get first inning jitters? And I was like, nah, dude, we're going to lose. What do I care?
You haven't sat still for 4 seconds. You've just wiggling back and forth. The mic just keeps going back and
God.
forth.
Have you noticed that's like my new kind of tick?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This
yeah.
thing? Yeah.
That's why I don't touch mine. Because
Yeah,
I've mentioned this before.
I think Rob and I both do this
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
why we're breaking it.
Which is why it's always like falling apart. But yes, all of mine I save for the commercial break, and I pace around in here and I stretch and I do push-ups. But
That is true.
I do all of my stuff during the break.
You are nicer to the equipment than I am.
I have respect for technology.
We'll finish up closing arguments with this. You were talking about this earlier today. Camouflage, camo and cargo shorts is the greatest combo of all time.
It's so good.
I'm gonna have to cry foul on that, man.
I lived in it.
And that's the only reason why you think that, though.
It's so comfortable.
Camo is a color, not a material.
But it's just comfortable.
I do like the material that camo's on.
Have you ever thrown something camo on and been like, this feels bad? The answer is no.
I have never worn camouflage in my life. Never.
Wow.
Why would I?
God, you are a communist.
I'm a socialist. I want you to get that correct, my friend. I am not a commie. I'm a socialist.
Yeah,
All right.
that's why you're always hammering sickle over here.
Yeah, dude.
God.
Yeah, man.
They don't work. They don't. They wear camo too. Their camo's weird.
Dude, I'm not communistic life.
Their camo's weird.
Do they have camo?
Yeah.
What color is it?
I mean, it's green and black, but it's like the patterns aren't funky.
So there's no universal camo pattern.
God,
it's country to country.
Oh yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Hell, they had multiple iterations of camo when I was in the military. We had the old style BDUs. Before that, we had in Desert Storm we had what we call the chocolate chips. Then we went to the Marines went to Marpat, which is the kind of the quasi digital camo. Air Force
to catch up so hard on this.
Air Force had tiger stripes in Vietnam that were green, and then we brought for some reason these blue tiger stripe ones, and I made the joke that it's blue because it matches the carpet that we work on. Then we went to the green tiger stripes, and now we've gone back to more of a digital, like my Nike Tech Fleece is a digital. It's kind of boxy.
Okay.
So then there's different versions of digital camo. There's a metric crap ton of camouflage differences. 2 on, 1 out. Top of the third.
1-0. Brian
1-0.
Rocchio almost caused another run to come home.
Ruh-roh. The roke giveth and the roke taketh.
Yeah, the camo stuff I totally understand because that's that's part of your life. Like you said, you wore it all the time. I just want to know, why was I told for 15 years that I can't wear cargo shorts, and now everybody wears cargo shorts?
Because you let women keep you down.
I like women, though.
I do, too. Have you
I
seen
don't think
some
they
of
were keeping me down. I think
yeah.
they were looking out for me.
No, they were denying
an
you.
error by a first baseman who doesn't play first base.
Hey.
Congratulations.
They are
Paging Carlos Santana. Paging Carlos Santana.
They are denying you the privilege and the comfort of cargo shorts.
The privilege.
You have so much storage.
I don't think you can get away with any phrase of the women are denying you privilege of fill in the blank.
I'm just saying.
I don't know if that's going to fly.
They're persecuting you.
Again, I don't think you can say women are persecuting me because
I'm
of
just
fill in
saying,
the blank.
man. Like when you have the freedom of the cargo pocket, it is amazing.
What do you put in there?
Everything.
Yeah, I know.
Everything.
Mm.
It's so great. You ever like you have a bunch like I mean I always have my keys, my wallet, my cell phone, whatever else. Like I used to carry my EDC knife all the time, and then obviously I carry something else. But
tell me more.
Yeah, well but beyond that, just have like when I chewed. Throw my can of chaw in the side pocket.
You're not at the wear circle on the back of the
I don't
jeans?
want to. I don't want to sit
cowboy.
on it. And no, man.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Why would I do that when I could just put it in a side pocket and never have to deal with it?
It's my Waylon Jennings voice. I'm working on it.
For a long time, I'm still a wallet guy, but I had a wallet that was like 2+ inches thick, and I used to wear it in my back pocket. And then I got cargo pants, and I went never again.
You got a Costanza wallet, don't you?
Yeah, it's not full on, but it's pretty close.
Well, that's pretty close.
But what do you never see? Me sitting on it. It's always out when I'm sitting down, and when I'm standing up, it's in my front pocket. But
why don't you leave it in your front pocket when you sit down?
Because it just pulls in my pants weird. I don't like that feeling. But beyond that, I also it's very hard to. This is like the tradecraft. It's a stupid word, but it's very hard to pickpocket a front pocket. And so when I was overseas, I'd always button my cargo pocket, or if I did have something on me that I needed to make sure, I'd always put it in my front right pocket.
That's why I live here.
Oh, and your cell phone, they steal everything in one fell swoop.
Well, yeah, if you're going to go out, you might as well go out with a bang.
Yeah, there you go.
My wife just texted me and told me I'm still not allowed to wear cargo shorts.
Preschool, come on. Quit persecuting.
I love you, baby. Thanks for looking out for me.
Yeah, why don't you put your passport in the back of that thing, too? That way they can get it all.
Oh, it'll be digital soon on my phone.
There you go. Perfect. Make that trip to Italy and then go ahead and don't call me. I don't know you when you're at the U.S. Embassy trying to get in.
Although you bring up a good point. Why does the passport have to be as big as it is? Why don't they have it in card size?
And not only that,
card size is like a universal card these days.
The stamps, you could do digital stamps, but also then that can be manipulated, blah, blah, blah. But also, most people have passports. You get it for like one trip in your lifetime. I've gone through 2 passports.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Like my stamps, like I had to get addendums into mine. It was ridiculous at one point in time. Like, okay, I don't think most people have to do this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was.
I got a real ID now.
Yeah, I had to get that stupid thing. We all have to now because they postponed it for 2 years because of COVID. Because it was supposed to be instituted in like 2020.
State of Washington was pretty easy. It's pretty easy to get it.
Oh yeah, it was easy to get it. I was like, oh, here we go. Because the picture I had before was terrifying, but the picture I had before that, I had a real good picture.
My picture right now is god awful.
My hair was at my shoulders.
I got
slicked back.
I went
like full hockey guy.
I got the picture of like not allowed within 50 yards.
Oh yeah,
Catch My Drift.
mine's a full-on serial killer.
I'm being told you can get a passport license for a few bucks extra.
Oh, there you go.
Could be into that.
That'd be nice. Nicole Scherzinger, Pussycat Dolls. I think that's who she was with.
Okay.
Staggeringly attractive woman.
Okay.
Supermodel attractive, right? I worked at a company and she was buying something for her boyfriend at the time, and it got flagged as fraud. And I was the ops manager, and I was like, I'll go deal with this. So I ended up calling her, and I'm like, hey, if you can like right now on your cell phone take a picture of your license and send it to me, I'll greenlight this, because I'm thinking there's no way this is actually her. It was her, and her license photo looked like it was on the cover of Vogue.
Wow.
And I was like, I wanted to ask her, do you have so much power in California that you were like, I'm not sitting in front of this stupid camera. Here's a headshot.
You should see, there's a great video that's gone viral. I think it might have been from a documentary of Victoria Beckham trying to like use her driver's license in America shoot as like a shoots. She was like, looked at the picture. She goes, oh, I don't like it. Can we do that again? And the lady goes, honey, this is the DMV. We only do one shot.
I mean,
she has like a makeup artist there, like fixing her hair.
No, that's like legitimately like I think that's what Nicole Scherzinger did, because it was the most insane driver's license photo I ever saw, to the point where I thought it was fake.
All right, that'll do it for us. Detroit up 1-0 going into the 5th inning, I believe. Fourth inning, excuse me. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow is a Football Friday, so we'll be there. For Danny Marang, that's Jeff Rust. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Bye.